broke his ankles. Now he's got an entourage, and he's got a touchdown.
The impossible dream of a play. Madden is on the field. He wants to know if it's real. They said yes. Get your big butt out of here.
Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free. It's picked up by Michigan State's Jalen Watts Jackson, and he scores on the last play of the game.
There, he's got it. End zone. Touchdown, Titans. There are no flags on the field. It's a miracle.
What's good? What's good?
It's a miracle. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. Guess what? Your boy Cam is back in his own setup. And guess who he got with him? Little brother, fresh graduate, going to college, man.
Yeah.
So got my little brother in here. Not the biggest college fan, but we gonna get him right today. Because we talking ACC breakdown today, man. You know, all the players, you get your athletes, that's where you get them from, at least when we was coming up. All the athletes, those crazy defensive ends and crazy big receivers, everything like that. That's where we got them from back then. But nonetheless, it's Sunday. Welcome to the Football Frame of Mind weekly show, and for our audio listeners, podcast. So we live everywhere, man. We live YouTube, Villain Sports Media page, man. That is the network that we are on, man. So go out there and support all of them guys over there. We live on Twitch, X, and Instagram, man. So check out all of that stuff, man. All of it, man. But before we get started in today's program, man, how you doing, Brandon?
That's good, man. We celebrate 2 full years doing this. From being a pipe dream thought to being a conversation to being on Zoom to being on CFD to where we are now. Couldn't do it without any of you guys or each other, man. So I think it'll be a really good time.
Oh man, you didn't catch the Zoom days. Nah, you didn't.
Oh, you about to see it here in a second. Because I made a really cool video if you guys want to check it out.
Trash. It was trash, bro. Content was good. Not so good on the editing part. You can't fix some shit, man. But it was fun, though. It was fun, man. But yeah, man, you play the video if you want to.
Cool. Check it out. It'll be a couple minutes for your audio listeners. Just to be able to hear everything. You just won't be able to see the actual video content. So let's roll.
How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
Good, man. Good. Okay, before we even get started, man, I see the LSU National Championship poster behind you, dog. I'm already upset, you know, so we should already just let the people know who our fandom lies, like who are we religious to. You already done put it out
show
there.
my card.
Yeah, like you're LSU. So for me, it's Alabama. So I've been an Alabama fan for a while.
But I really want to lead off the NFC Pretenders, though, because I feel like that could be fun.
All right. No. That's cool. Cleveland. Nah, I don't want to see no Cleveland. I don't like Cleveland. I don't like that at all. That hurt my feelings. Why would you say that?
The real Browns.
Nah, bro. We're the real Browns. Try again, man. Try again. Don't do that. Don't do that. They had to get them replacement players. That's what they had to do. Well, tell me how Tim Couch went. Didn't go very well, did it? They want you to run. Yeah, they want you to run the ball. They want you to run the ball on second inches. So if you're going to stack the box and then play man coverage on the outside, either I'm gonna run with the quarterback or I'm gonna test your coverage.
Gosh, that's gold, boys. That's a $20 to a $36 card right there. That's gold, bro. Let's freaking go. First pack, bro. Pull a really nice laser Drake May. There's a laser prism. That is a really nice card. Really nice card.
He broke his ankles. Now he's got an entourage. And he's got a touchdown.
Impossible dream of a play. Madden is on the field. He wants to know if it's real. They said yes. Get your big butt out of here.
Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free. It's picked up by Michigan State's Jalen Watts Jackson, and he scores on the last play of the game.
He's got it. End zone. Touchdown Titans. There are no flags on the field. It's a
Who do you think is better, Dan Marino or Jim Kelly? Now you've seen these players play on television. Who is better?
Marino. I think Marino was a little better than Kelly. But Kelly got the up on him because he went to 4 Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, he's almost toss up.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we was doing. Oh, he's seen all of them. He's seen both of them play. So, thanks, Pops. Thanks, Pops. I send you your invoice. Send me your invoice.
And there you go. And I think you might be frozen. Nope.
Who is on the Wi-Fi right now? Who is on? Somebody's on the Wi-Fi, and they are really, really messing with the algorithm, bruh. This is crazy.
So
Somebody,
were you able to see it?
yeah. No. We saw that thing. We saw that thing, man. Appreciate it, dog. Appreciate it, man. You guys glad to put our unofficial third member on there, or official.
I thought you would. I thought you would appreciate that.
Oh yeah, we got to put our official third member on there. That was tight. That was a nice one. I wasn't expecting that.
I wanted to catch you off guard.
Yeah, man, like you did with that Dan Marino jersey in the back.
Yes, sir.
I was like that motherfucker was clean. True, but nonetheless, man, we appreciate all of the viewers, man, over these last 2 years, man. We've been doing pretty good, man. Just want to keep growing. This content thing ain't easy, but you know what? You keep it going and you get the rewards, man. So we happy to have all the subscribers we do. And without further ado, man, let's get into this ACC action, man. So you know the drill. Gotta go back a little bit. All right. So you know the drill, man. Come on over. The water's fine, man. Come on. Why y'all being stingy? Don't just watch the video. Subscribe to the channel. You seen it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We got something you like, man. We got game streaming. We got shorts. We got all of that good stuff that y'all be wanting to watch, man. It might be the off season, as Josh Pate says all the time, but that's all right, man. We got a whole lot of stuff, man. We're entering our breakdowns, man. So we're doing college, and then we're going to flip the script right back to the NFL, man. So training camp will be starting around that time. So why don't y'all just come on, man? Stop being stingy, man. Subscribe to the damn channel. This is cool. It's actually cool because 2 weeks ago he's at like 90.
Mm-hmm.
So it went down. So we on a little bit of a climb.
Progress.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
most definitely, man. Most definitely.
Subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, come on, man. Listen to him.
Subscribe to the channel, y'all. Come on.
Yeah, what y'all on, man? Anyway, But yeah, it's fine over here. So let's get into it, man. You know, we flipping it a little bit. We start with our NFL stuff because we got a lot of college to talk about. Up now, I want to freeze again. Who is on the Wi-Fi, man?
That's that Coco Melon, bro.
You said that's that Coco Melon.
Yeah, it probably is, man. Dang.
Bro, every time if you hop on that freaking YouTube, like if I'm uploading, and you always see the history and all the recent videos. That's all.
Yeah, that's my bad. That's my bad. Because I let him watch on the channel because that's the only one that got the premium. He don't like commercials, and neither do I. So that's what happened, man. But nonetheless, man, we on this NFL stuff. We flipping it because we got a lot of college to talk about. So, you know, we got a little brother in here, man. So I want to ask you first, man. So, do you think Phillip Rivers is the greatest quarterback to not win a Super Bowl? Now, I know you young, but go into that young Rolodex of quarterbacks that ain't won. Is he the best one?
Nah, I'm not seeing it.
I'm not seeing it.
I'm not seeing it.
Dang. Tough crowd, man. Tough crowd. So, all right. So,
let me see. Who all QBs are we talking about here?
I mean, the greatest one. True or false, he's the greatest one. So you gotta think Dan Marino. You gotta think Randall Cunningham,
Jim Kelly,
Matt
Ryan, Phillip Rivers, Warren Moon.
Then that's
Randall Cunningham
to Phillip Rivers.
Oh, so he says it's false, man. He says it's false, man. Now,
once you said Matt Ryan, then that's something that I know. Yeah, no.
So for me, I can answer this question a little different because I don't think he's the greatest one to never win. But out of all the quarterbacks that didn't win, I thought he had the best opportunity to get.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Am I tripping?
You're not tripping. Look at the freaking team they had. What was it, 06? They won like
13. 04. 04 when they went 14-2.
What, it was 04, they won like 14 games, and it was like 07, 08, they went like 13-3 with North Turner. Like, they were loaded, bro. Offensively and defensively. I want to say they had the number 1 seed both freaking times. So they had home field advantage with a first round bye both freaking times.
Yeah, man. I personally enjoyed that team with Marty Ball when he was there. I thought they played really good, and of course, you know, you got LT as Pitch Grid joins the show. Man, what's good, Pitch Grid? Yep, that's what I'm saying, man. They had crazy people. You had Phillip Rivers, you had LT, you had Gates, man. Chris Chambers joined the show at one point. Big receiver, made a lot of one-handed catches. Odell before Odell.
Y'all talking about 2006.
Man, but I'm telling you, man, Chris Chambers off the chain, bro. And then that's just offense, man. About defense, man. Sean Merriman, I stack his first 3 years up with anybody's. He had double-digit sacks every year. Cromartie, like, come on, man.
Quentin Jammer.
What? Who? What?
Quentin Jammer.
Oh yeah, you can't forget Quentin Jammer, bro. Come on now, that's old school right there.
Some of Junior Seau.
Junior Seau
was like kind of before that though, because he had went to New England and won.
Most definitely, rest in peace,
Junior. But I mess with Junior Seau though.
But yeah, man. But now he wasn't there at that time. But if he was, they probably would have won.
Oh, they would have won a Super Bowl if he was.
He played a long time.
If they would have had him and Rodney Harrison still, yeah, they definitely would have.
Yeah, man.
They would have got it done.
Now, you know, man, I love me some Rodney Harrison. You know why? Because he gave us Kurt Warner, baby. Come on, man. If he wouldn't have tore up Kurt Warner's knee or Trent Green's knee, Kurt Warner wouldn't have been the starting quarterback.
Oh, okay.
So thank you, Rodney Harrison, man, because I don't think we would have won with Trent Green. I'm sorry. No disrespect. I ain't see it.
It wouldn't have been the greatest show on turf with him.
Nah, it just would have been a show on turf. That's it, man. But what you think?
Dan Marino enters the chat. I'm sorry. It's not even a debate for me, bro. Give Dan Marino that team. Give him that Chargers team. Put him on that team in 06, 07. Dude, they would have ran to the AFC with him at quarterback.
Oh, why you do that? Why you do that, Pitch Grid? Why you do that? Why you do that? Don't do that to a Pitch Grid, man. Come on, man.
Look, just because I'm wearing a Giants jersey doesn't mean that I want to relive that, okay?
Dang.
Hey, man, look, dog. Look, dog. I watched that. I think you were around 07. So I don't think you were born yet. Not yet. But you was in the belly about to pop out, though. So you probably heard the screams of me and Pops on TV. Yo, did he catch that on his helmet? Yo. You see Rodney Harrison just digging at his arm trying to make him drop it. But the play
the crazy thing to me about that play was how Eli Manning got out of like 2 sacks.
Yo.
When he first dropped back, I'm like, okay, cool. They're gonna bring him down. He gets a hand on his jersey, he pulls back. So he goes to roll. Freaking rips at him again, gets out, and he just freaking rolls out right and slings it. I'm like, there's no freaking way, bro. Ball's in the air, comes down. I'm like, bro, just caught it on his damn helmet, bro. Like,
hey,
what's the heck?
Shout out to the ref that didn't blow the whistle, though.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to him. Just like, hey, we're gonna let him play.
Mm-hmm. Oh, imagine if they would have did that. That Super Bowl would have went much differently. Oh man.
Which one, Pitch Grid? The Super Bowl or the?
It might be his own documentary, I think, because it says he said Football Life documentary, so that must mean that's usually the player documentaries.
All right. Well, I mean, it works. I like all the Football Lives, man. They cold, especially Vince Lombardi's. His was good. You gotta watch that.
Yeah, I gotta watch that for sure.
You gotta watch Vince Lombardi. It's a 2-parter. It's kind of like Nick Saban's and Bill Belichick.
The old school NFL Network ones were really good. Like when we were coming up, those were good.
I think Mom had to block that channel because I watched it so much. That BET, MTV, MTV2, VH1, she blocked that too. But one channel she didn't block. Fuse. She didn't block Fuse. And Fuse was the rock station or the rock channel. So it had a lot of rock music on it. So I was cool with that, man.
It was a much different time.
Much different time, man. Cable antennas, aluminum foil on antennas to make sure it works. Yeah. A lot of
on
stuff.
demand.
On demand. TiVo.
Pay-per-views.
Yeah, you know. So, but nonetheless, man, that's our NFL stuff, man. As we got a lot of college to get into, man. So we reached that point.
I got that ACC video.
Oh yeah, go back. We go back.
All right, y'all ready?
Yep.
Cool. Welcome to the ACC.
To remain unbeaten and perhaps a player in the college football playoff and the 29th consecutive conference win. Blocked, snuffed, rubbed out, erased. And Georgia Tech with an opportunity. Austin still on his feet. One man, you can't believe.
Flutie flushed. Throws it down. Caught by Boston College. I don't believe it. It's a touchdown. The Eagles win it.
Super reliable. Gets away again. Now just heaves it up. He's got a man in the end zone. Touchdown Louisville. Damian Copeland.
Patterson to the end zone. Drives his way in. Virginia Tech has won it in 6 overtimes.
This was good, man. The ACC was good, man. That's all I can tell you. It was a very, very, very good conference, man. So, obviously, the SEC, when I was coming up, was kind of the big conference. But the ACC had a lot of players, man. A whole lot, man. They had They had, like I said, they had their athletes, man. So when you think of players that are super athletic, but like big football players, think of Mario Williams from the Texans, man. Julius Peppers, guys like that, came from that conference, man. And it's just a good conference, man. Vernon Davis, can't forget Tiki and Rondé Barber because they went to Virginia. So that's a couple of guys that really stood out to me. But I mean, you still got other guys like Matt Ryan, Boston College. He was really good, and then now since I think a lot of teams have came to this conference, like Syracuse and stuff like that. Donovan McNabb, he counts as an ACC quarterback now because Syracuse is there. Lamar Jackson, Louisville. So the guy we were just talking about, Phillip Rivers, North Carolina State, NC State. So like that conference was good, man. Had a lot of good players, and my Rams had one too, man. Think about probably one of the most underrated corners in NFL history, Dre Bly, North Carolina. Interception leader as a freshman, so you knew he was nice. And then you got Torrey Holt at NC State as well. So a lot of good dudes, man. But nonetheless, man, we get into this ACC breakdown, man. So of course we started off the screen, man, with the championship game from last year, won by the Clemson Tigers, helped them get into the playoffs. But the reason why SMU got in there is because the game was close, 34-31. If you can play your best team in the conference close, you get in the playoffs, man. So that's what happened, man. And if you can, it makes sense when you think about it. Now I was pissed off. I'm like, man, put Bama in, man. We beat everybody.
South Carolina, they played way harder schedules. SMU didn't play nobody.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Of course, he don't want Bama in there. He's an LSU guy. He don't want Bama in there. Like if Bama was undefeated, he'd say, "Man, fuck Bama. They don't need to be in there." But I tell you what, LSU and Bama play some pretty good games, man. Okay. Now, keep in mind, some games were in my favor by a lot, but we always knew that LSU had them studs. Okay. So yeah, you can monkey around if you want to, and you're gonna fuck around and find out. Okay. So, which we did a few times. We did. 2019 was one of them games. Not good.
07.
Not good. 2011 was one of them games. Like
yeah,
the best
not the national championship game.
Okay, we weren't talking about that.
No, I'm just saying.
But that was their fault.
Oh man. Someone's having Wi-Fi problems. It's not me.
Yeah, bro, you brought it over here to me.
Nah.
You brought it over here to me. That bad juju, man.
Ain't no bad juju. You had it first.
No, I didn't. All right, so hopefully it go. Man. Hopefully. All right. We good right now?
Yeah.
We good right now.
You're
All
good.
right, cool. So these are some offensive returning stars, man. So you recognize anybody on here, Kendall? Anybody?
Cade Klubnik.
Clay Covenant. All right. No, that's a good one. He's a good one. He should. I think he might win the Heisman this year, low key, man. I think he might. It's gonna be a tough conference to play in, but I still think he might win because he's gonna put up some numbers because he got some good players, right? So I think they'll do it. But nonetheless, man, for our audio listeners, man, we got Haynes King, quarterback, Georgia Tech. Kelly Jennings, quarterback, SMU. We got Pitt running back, Desmond Reed. Really good running back, by the way. Wide receiver, Antonio Williams from Clemson. Of course, Cade Klubnik in the middle. He's a quarterback from Clemson. Probably the favorites to win the ACC this year. Pitt quarterback, Eli Hosting, from former Bama quarterback, by the way. found his niche in Pitt, man, was really good last season in my opinion. Then you got Francis, I want to say McGowan or McGowan. We'll start.
And Desmond Claymore from Wake Forest.
Hold on. All right. Let me do something real quick.
You good?
Nah, we're not good. We're not good. We're not good at all. Hold on. I'm gonna back out the whole thing and come back. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Oh. Now I wonder if the presentation he's gonna back out. So what I mean, ACC, like you say, ACC already has a really good plethora of athletes. I mean, I don't know who he's gonna have his watch out player. I'm assuming it would be Klubnik. He's been promised to be this next big thing since he came in as an incoming freshman. I feel like every single year he has gradually gotten better and better and better. And then since he's been there, I've got to say that this is probably the best team that they've had up until this point, honestly. I think Clemson's really good at having athletes, but Dabo finally dove into the transfer portal. He's finally like embraced it, and it seems like, hey, yeah, transfer portal, NIL, all that. Clemson's doing really good. I'm not a huge fan of them. We got to play them week 1 too. So not really looking forward to that because the last 3 seasons we have yet to win our opening game. What was it? Florida State, and then last year lost the game we shouldn't have lost in week 1, which that was USC. 3 bugaboos in a row. And we should not have lost that game. Now we're going against a Clemson team that's probably the best Clemson team they've had over the last few years. They weren't bad last year by any means, but it's going to be an interesting matchup. They're loaded with athletes. The ACC is really low-key good. They're not to the same prestige or same talent level, I feel like, as the Big Ten or the SEC, but I feel like they get slept on a lot. Got some really good coaches down there. Like you said, he was going through some of those offensive stars. I really like Haynes King. I like what he did with Georgia Tech last year. I thought he looked really good. The fact that he's coming back, really good thing there. He was talking about Eli Holstein. Hopefully Pittsburgh can actually win some more games next year. I feel like they got a pretty good coach too. I forget his name, but they're I don't know, man. The ACC, I'm not gonna say it's open for grabs. I feel like the ACC will run through Clemson. But at the same time, college football is so up and down that you really never know what to expect, to be honest with you. And it looks like we about to have him back hopped on. Probably got some of went a little bit too far, bro. Just got to cycle back to offensive players. Oh, almost there. Almost there. We didn't really get a chance to a chance to start talking about the offensive guys yet. Shout out to the 13 people watching, by the way. Shout out to Andrew for the love on the video. We got 8 people on X, 4 on YouTube, and we got 1 person on the Twitch stream right now. Must be working out the bugs with the wireless internet. Bro, I hate technology sometimes. Don't you? No, obviously it's not as crazy as it was when we were younger, having dial-up and having to worry about somebody being on the phone when you were getting on the computer. Much different time, for sure. Hopefully they get this taken care of. But I see there's a lot of really good names here. Like Desmond Claiborne's really good. Like I said, I like Eli Holstein. Then Desmond, I can't read his name. The screen's the screen is glitching a little bit. You got Kelly Jennings from SMU. SMU wasn't bad by any means. I feel like since they had Tanner Mordecai, right before that, I feel like SMU's kind of been on a steady reach. And I feel like at the end of the day, they're going to be good. But it seems like Cam's going to be a little bit longer than anticipated. So I'm going to run a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. And hopefully we have everything taken care of. And nope, we're back.
Sort of.
Everything all right?
Yeah, man. They gotta unplug everybody's stuff, man. Nah, but where'd you leave off, man? My bad.
No, I mean I was just kind of overviewing them, but I mean we can each pick a player like how we usually would and like talk about them because I'm pretty sure you have a favorite out of the room you got right there.
Man, you know what? One favorite I've been looking at, man, over the past couple days is Eli Holstein, man. I really feel like Pitt has a two-headed monster with Desmond Reed. I think it's really cool, you know. So that's one matchup I'm looking forward to. All right, man.
Nope.
Good shit.
You still there?
That's the extension, bro.
I don't know.
You good?
I don't know, man.
Nah, we run into some technical difficulties. Okay. Well, so until he gets that figured out, I'm not going to keep you guys waiting. I'm just going to run a commercial break and we'll be right back. And we are back.
Sort of, man. But whatever player you were thinking, we can do it.
So for me, honestly, Holstein's really good, but I honestly really like Haynes King, to be honest with you. Like what he was able to, I've liked how his game's gotten better and better since he's left A&M. Last year, they were surprisingly like low-key, like underratedly good, in my opinion. I like Georgia Tech. I think that they could be another really sleeper team this year. I definitely think they're going to be bowl eligible. And I think one of the main reasons for that is going to be Haynes King and his play and his ability to be able to run the ball, be able to scramble, be able to get the ball out to his receivers and his running backs and so on. Georgia Tech's got a really interesting offense and like how they run up and down the field. So I think Haynes King's going to be one of those guys to watch out for.
All right. No. I messed with it. But yeah, I think it's gonna be really good though. They gonna surprise a few people, man. But let's get to the defensive dudes, man. So I'm thinking about Peter Woods, man. Clippers stole him from Alabama. So that's the guy I'm looking at. Goddamn, this stupid ass thing, man. I think I know what the problem is, but I can't remember what thing it was, man. Like, I can't remember what it was. I was trying to stream better, but I think it messed up my stuff a little bit, man. Let me see. Screen play settings. That might be it. Yeah. Size. Nah, that's not it. Yeah, that's too high. I'm trying to remember, man. Was it The 60. That went all the way up. All right. Bring it back down. We'll do it. All right. Good. No.
Not quite yet.
Maybe. Not quite yet.
I think now you catching up now.
Sort of.
Yeah, kinda.
Because we going.
You might be okay. Keep trying.
Back and forth. Back and forth. God, man. Little brother, like, man, I ain't gonna be on here no more, man. I ain't gonna be on here no more, bro.
It's all
I
good.
ain't gonna be on here no more, bro. Like, bro, y'all stuff booty today, man. All right, man. But Peter Wood is definitely the guy I was looking forward to, man. What about you?
I mean, you kind of took who I was going to say. I think he's a real impact player. I mean, Clemson's loaded from top to bottom with athletes anyway. But out of the ones on the screen, I think he was going to be the one for me that was really going to stand out.
Anyway, man. But I tell you what, one person to watch, man. You see the name. I think I told you about that.
Yeah.
Avion Terrell. That's AJ Terrell, little brother. So they built the same almost, you know, especially AJ at that point. AJ was like skinny dude with crazy ball skills, you know. So if he can get half as good as AJ is, man, he'll be another good Clemson defensive back, man.
I actually have a friend who just committed to Clemson.
Yeah,
right? He a junior right now, being in class 26, committed right now.
Okay. What position he gonna play?
Corner. I call him Gibson because his last name, but it was like him Gibson, but he on the come for sure.
All right, no, that's fresh. That's fresh. I like that. I like that, man. Class of 26, man. M. Gibson, man. Be on the lookout, man, because he gonna be an ACC guy, man. So, but nonetheless, man, let's go to the next thing, bro. All right, let's go to impact transfers, man. What you thinking?
I like Eric Flowers going to Georgia Tech, to be honest with you. I think that was a really good fit. I think Georgia Tech's been like really working behind the scenes, getting really good recruits coming in like over the next couple of recruiting cycles. And they've been doing pretty good in the transfer portal as well. I think Georgia Tech, like I said, is going to be a sleeper. And I really like the fit with the Flowers going there.
Bro, I can't believe you stole my thing, bro. You stole my pick.
No, you sold mine too, so it's okay. We're even.
No. You stole my pick, man. I really like Eric Flowers, man, because I'm like, dude was like 100 yards game catching, like at FIU or something. So I was like, dude, nice. But for the sake of the show, man, I'm gonna go Carson Beck, man. Obviously, last season, Cam Ward has a magical season, becomes first overall pick, man. But coming into last season, Carson Beck was the guy to go number 1 overall, right? And then his play went up and down, and he started losing some draft stock. But now, at a new place, he should be pretty good, you know. And they've had some good luck with transfers the last couple of years. So we'll see. But I'm thinking Carson Beck's going to be pretty good. I think it's going to help them a lot. And they were pretty close to making the playoffs until they dropped that game to Syracuse. You know, so we'll see, man. So I think next is the freshman tab, man. So just a few freshmen that I think are going to make an impact, man. I think Odoms from SMU is probably going to be one of their starting tackles, even as young as he is, because 5-star guys don't go to SMU just to sit the bench, in my opinion. So I think he's going to be starting, and he's going to get some playing time, man. But I also think Hayden Lowe is gonna get a lot of playing time this year. Because like I said, the U used to get 5 stars all the time, right? So now they're getting back into their recruit. Head coach, which we'll get into a little bit later, he's hell bent on getting them back to where they were in the early 2000s and 90s. He's hell bent on doing that, and he played there, offensive lineman, 90s, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, now I do think Bryce Davis will be one of those guys. I do think he'll be able to play. I do, because that's not a school known for football for real. So when they get a high recruit, man, they really got to showcase like, hey, not only do we play young guys, but we can develop young guys. So when you have a school that's not balanced in terms of their sports, you got to show out sometimes,
Right.
because usually Duke is a job in college that either gets you to the big job or you just a coordinator for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what it is. North Carolina's like that too, because if you coach at North Carolina, you can coach anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So a couple guys you might not know, but you'll know the player. So Vince Young, right? Vince Young was at Texas with Mac Brown, right? Mac Brown started at North Carolina. So you see what I'm saying? The job helped you get to another one. Now, Duke is a place where Steve Spurrier, guys like Javon Curse, him before. So Javon Curse was at Florida with Spurrier, but Spurrier started at Duke, right? Now, don't get it twisted. The other guys like you probably wouldn't know his name, but Fedora, he was the coach before Mac Brown. Haven't heard of him since because he didn't win there. So that's what I'm saying. It's a gateway job to the next one, man. So not the best job, but definitely enough players in the area to help you win. So these are impact guys, man. So they should be something you look at. So now we getting into the coaches, man. So these are the top guys in the ACC that I think. All right. I was thinking about putting Bill Belichick there, but he ain't coached in college in a very long time. So we'll put him on the welcome mat, right? But these are the guys that I think are the top guys in the conference, man. You obviously got Dabo Swinney, a couple of national titles under his belt, a couple first-round draft picks as well, and top dog, basically, right? Mario Cristobal won in a couple different places, including Oregon, right? He's been pretty good at resurrecting Miami to getting them into 10-win seasons, which is good in college football. And then we got Rhett Lashley, who's the nice, shiny new toy that's about to go and take one of those jobs from like the Michigans. The LSUs, if Brian Kelly don't get it together, that's the guy. He's the new face as far as the coaches that's about to be, kick an old dog out of the house. Let's just say that.
Yeah, come up.
Yeah, he's on the come up, man. SMU, like I said, just made the playoffs this year. So he's one of those guys, man. So expect him, if they have a good season and make the playoffs, not make the playoffs, but if they make some noise, he's up out of there because the big schools are gonna come calling, Now I wouldn't say the NFL will be calling, but they do. They put the Panthers a few years ago. Team built. I'll fight through it today. Right, wrong, upside down. Shit, he can't hear me. Can you hear me? No.
Faintly going in and out.
Going in and out. I know. And I don't know why it's going so bad though, man. I don't know, man. Usually it's pretty good, man.
Most of the time, it's like your video hasn't been updating, but your voice has been coming through fine. Now it's kind of like doing the fritz on both.
All right, man. Hold on.
Got something going on there. Oh man, apologize for the inconvenience, guys. Having some more technical difficulties, which kind of sucks. I've really been looking forward to doing this ACC video, man. We're almost done. Once we complete the ACC next week, will probably be like a joint episode. We'll probably end up doing the Big 12. So we'll do a nice, cool Big 12 breakdown. We got a comment. Appreciate, yeah, man. They are lovely. I appreciate it, man. I had to wear somebody who was ACC. I know he was Big East, but Miami's in the ACC. It was either that or I had another guy. I'm not going to specify, but and looks like we're about to be back up and running. Big 12 next week. Yep. Big 12. You got K-State, your favorite team in the Big 12. Maybe they'll have a better year this year. We'll see. And it looks like we're about to be back up and running, guys. Bruh. Great timing. Great timing. And there we go.
All right, we good?
Yeah, everything looks fine to me.
All right. Let's try this one more time, man. Let's try this. Let's try to keep this going, man. All right. Let's go back. Let's do that. I probably shouldn't have messed with that. All right. So let's get it. So you all in favor of this whole thing, right?
Yeah, he's in a class of his own though. They're not even in his league yet. He's got 2 natties under his belt. They're in the upper echelon, but they're not on his level yet.
All right, no, that's fair. That's fair. But I do think when it comes to the top ACC coaches, that's the pecking order. That's your top 3, hands down, right? Now we get into the coaches that have done a good job, but haven't cracked that top level yet. So we call this the coaches in good standing. All right. So the coaches in good standing are coaches that, like I said, have done good or have been consistent throughout their whole careers, right? So we'll start with Fran Brown. Fran Brown has taken Syracuse to a whole nother level. They had picked up I forgot the transfer quarterback's name, man.
Kyle McCord.
Kyle McCord, yeah, transferred from Ohio State and went and balled out and became a 4th-round draft pick, right? Mm-hmm. So there you go, man. He's working his tail off to build them into respectable, because that's a basketball school anyway, right? Then you got Jeff Brown, done pretty good at Louisville. They won. They went to the ACC title game a few years ago. So they played against Florida State and gave them a run for their money. Almost won it, man. If they had a better quarterback, I think they would have won it. And it would have been pretty fun to see, man, because then it wouldn't have to hear all that.
Didn't they beat Florida State? Because Florida State didn't even have their starting quarterback. That's when Jordan Travis went down before that.
Nah, Florida State won because they went Wildcat. Mm-hmm. They just stopped throwing the ball because the quarterback was ass. So they just went Wildcat and won that game. Nasty. It was an ugly game. But everybody was talking about Florida State's defense, though. Mm-hmm. That's what people wanted them to make the playoffs, because their defense played lights out. Like, Louisville couldn't do anything at all that game, man. But Brent Key is another disciple of the Saban coaching tree. Offensive line coach for us. So offensive line coach by nature. So he gets it. Mm-hmm. And they've been doing good at Georgia Tech, man. Just to let you know. Georgia Tech has had a few close calls with Georgia. That's their rival. Right. So they've almost had them. Close. But Georgia just had that little extra, man. And then Manny Diaz, he coached Miami about 5 years ago. But he was let go in favor of Mario Cristobal, right? So Mario Cristobal, obviously coming off Rose Bowl appearance, whatever, right? Made it a little easier. Alum, all of that. Made it an easier situation, right? I didn't like how they handled it, because I felt like you could have at least let him know ahead of time, like, hey, this is what we're doing, right? But nonetheless, he had a pit stop in Penn State, and then got this job after that, right? So this is a gateway job for him, right? This is the moment, right? If he does really good here, like the coach before him, Mike Elko, yep, who is now at Texas A&M, right? He's gonna get another good job, right? But they did pretty good last season, not terrible. But we gotta see more, right? He's gotta hit that recruiting trail, transfer portal, gotta do a little bit, right? And he did, because I want to say they got I forgot his name, but Caleb something, but he's gonna be like a safety linebacker guy. So that's gonna help him what he does on defense, right? So then Bill O'Brien, man, not one of my favorite coaches, and Brandon knows why. But nonetheless, he was the head coach of the Houston Texans when Deshaun Watson was there.
I know,
right?
yeah, that's what I know about him.
Yeah, so obviously he got fired and then came to Alabama and just fucked up our whole thing we had going on. But nonetheless, he leaves and goes to Boston College.
Well, he made another pit stop in, I think, New England it was before.
Yeah. So he went back to New England. But now he's back, coaching in college, man. Surprising move by me because he's a guy that has really deep NFL roots. But nonetheless, he did really good. I think they went to a bowl game and a couple of his players got drafted, right? So not so much, man. Now, I don't know much about Brent Pry. If you could tell me more about him, that would be cool.
I don't follow Virginia Tech that closely. I know they get good athletes. I don't really know too much about him, though.
Nah, me neither, man. But he's doing okay. Not as good as their greatest coach ever, Coach Beamer. Coach Beamer won a bunch of games. Michael Vick was there. His brother was there. Had a lot of good players, man. So they've been trying to search for that next guy, But Dave Dorian is kind of trending on, I'm not going to say the hot seat, but 2 years ago, they were the boogeyman of the ACC because they run a wide open offense where they can score 50 on you any day if you ain't playing right, But 2 years ago, I thought they were the boogeyman of the ACC. They could really beat you anytime, especially on the road. Because if you ain't hot, you done. Because they can score on you quick, right? But not so much. He's been missing that quarterback, that signal caller to really take his offense to the next level. And when we get into the next tab, I'll explain why some of those guys are in there. But Dave Dorian is trending on, we got to see, But Pat Narduzzi has been, I think, out of all these guys, he is the longest tenured. So he's been at Pitt for about 10 years. Done seen the LaShawn McCoys, I think. He done seen them all. I think he was there.
No, LaShawn McCoy was in Pittsburgh way before 10 years ago.
Before? So we talking before Darrelle Revis, right?
Yeah, it's been I don't know about before, but McCoy was in the league 10 years ago.
See, he was there a little bit. Nonetheless, I'm just teasing. But Pat Narduzzi's been there a long time, man. And Pitt's been up and Pitt's been down. But right now, Pitt is at a place where they up there. Now, when I said the boogeyman was NC State, Pitt might be the boogeyman this year. All right, because they got a quarterback that can light it up. They got a running back that can light it up. They got some defensive players that can really impact the ball game, right? So if they get hot, watch out. Like I said, if they play Clemson or Miami, they could steal one of those games and change the whole ACC title picture. Just like that. So anybody you disagree with, Brandon? Anybody?
No, I mean, I'm a Manny Diaz guy, but if I had to pick two I feel like are in the best spot or can do the most is Brent Key and Fran Brown. I think Syracuse has been trending in the right direction since he got there. And you're talking about the boogeyman. I think Georgia Tech could be the boogeyman, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah. No, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong, man. I think Georgia Tech has the best system for upsets, in my opinion, because they can pass just
And
as
they can
good as
run.
they can run. You know,
And their quarterback's a dual threat.
see what I'm saying? So they pass just as good as they run. When you got a dual threat quarterback in college, anyway, it changes the whole game, because now instead of guarding for 10, right, you got to guard for 11.
No, and you're having to run QB spies and then
So
leaving
now that
somebody
takes,
open. One of the receivers, a tight end, gets open because you spied on the quarterback.
you're taking somebody out of defense because you got to account for that quarterback. And now you get a quarterback that can throw a little bit. Wow. Right there, man.
They do both as well. So
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. So like it's scary to play Georgia Tech, man. But nonetheless, man, we move on to the next one, man. Coaches that must improve, man. So I'm gonna start with the elephant in the room. All right. So the last few breakdowns, we really haven't had no hot seat. So I didn't make no tab for it. I just call it coaches that must improve, right? But the level of improvement is not the same for everybody. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So person in the middle is usually the big guy that needs to improve the most. All right. So you know a lot about football throughout your life. That Florida State was one of those programs that you just had to watch. Had the best players at one time, had the best coaches at one time.
I was a fan because of Ramsey.
Yeah, Ramsey is one of them, right? So when he was there, Florida State was popping. All right. Now they done been through about 2 or 3 coaches since then, and they've all been bad. And after last season, this dude would be the first candidate of the hot seat. All right. You can't imagine the alumni, the money, the recruits, the history of Florida State that they would win 2 games. You would think that's impossible, but they did.
They were bad in a few games that I have seen. It was pretty bad.
Yeah. So Mike Norvell has no choice. Like his season is not as long as everybody else. If in the first 4 games, if they don't win 3 of those, he's probably gonna be fired because they tired of it. You know, we're giving you this money, this access, these players, the weather. Like, come on, man, you gotta win, right? So I think he's the biggest candidate to be fired. And you know who would be a good fit for Florida State? We just talked about him, Rhett Lashley. That would be a perfect good fit for them. Because now you got somebody that's an offensive juggernaut. Like, dude, his offenses is crazy. You know what I'm saying? That will be a good spot for him. And I don't think he's taking too much of a leap if he would get that job. But we're not going to fire him yet because he's still there. And I've seen people who are on the hot seat save their jobs, you know? So we'll see, man. But Justin Wilcox is another coach that he got to improve, right? Because they playing at Cal, coaching at Cal, and Cal just brought in Ron Rivera, right? And he's a legend, right? You know, he's a legend. Don't worry about that. That's all right. We ain't worry about that. All right. Nonetheless, Ron Rivera is a legend at Cal. He played there, and now he's like general manager or something, man. So I think he has to report to him now because their AD stepped down a couple months ago. So he's got to improve. You know, he hasn't been terrible, but not good enough for Cal. And Cal's in that spot where me and Brandon were talking about like last year or so, where Brian Kelly was, right? This is a school that you have to have a certain GPA to get in. The best players don't always have the best GPA. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's just the nature of the beast. So you're not going to get the best athletes. So you're going to have to work a lot with less. Right? So he's working it, just not as well as maybe he should, you know. And then we go to Tony Elliott, man. So when you talk about somebody that has a Phil Jackson coaching tree, when we're talking basketball, Phil Jackson is one of the best coaches ever, but his coaches and assistants suck. Okay, ass. That is Dabo Sweeney. All of his assistants have not been very good, and Tony Allen's one of them. Virginia is not on the level of Virginia Tech, but they've had some good players. They've had some pretty good players over the course of their program, right? So it's not the worst program, but it's not the program that you think of that's a hot commodity. But it's still a D1 school, and they still get good players, you know? So the fact that they've been bad for the last 3 seasons is surprising. They're in a good area for recruiting, and it's a good school. So it's just surprising, man, that it's just not working for him. So he has to improve, or he might be another candidate that's not going to make it through the season, right? And then the last guy is Dave Clawson. So Dave Clawson has Sam Hartman for about 3-4 years. Sam Hartman lit up the thing. I think you heard of Sam Hartman. A little bit. Okay, never mind. I'll break it down for you. Sam Hartman was lighting up the scoreboard. He almost beat Clemson, and that was a good game, like 50 points apiece, you know. But when you have a wide open offense like he does, 5 wide, throw it around, right? You need a signal call. You need somebody that has the ability to maybe call his own plays in the huddle because you're going so fast, right?
Oh, yeah.
You need a guy like that. And he had Sam Hartman for all of those years. And now it's entering that weird space where you haven't found that guy. And the seasons are stacking up on you. The 4-win seasons. I think he's back-to-back 4 wins. So this is a big year for him because he's one of those long tenure coaches in the ACC. So you enter in that space where it's like, dang, I gotta find this guy. I gotta win, or I'm not gonna be. You know? So that's kind of where. Good at first. We was good at first. Man. All right. So we gotta open the. Oh, my bad. Am I right on this? Am I good?
No, I thought I was just gonna sit and chill the whole time. I'm just playing. No, but the biggest thing in the room is Mike Norvell, man. They gave him that huge extension.
Yes,
We're expecting really good results. But the thing is, people had crazy expectations. But Florida State just had a really crazy transfer portal class because they used a buttload of freaking NIL money. And then when all those guys went pro and they weren't able to replenish that talent and all those positions having depth the way they had, they sucked. So it made him look like he was a lot better than what he was. And last year with playing with maybe less Pro Bowl or NFL draft caliber talent, now you're kind of in a spot where it's like, look, dude, we've got all this money invested in you. The program has a lot of money, like, especially there was crazy expectations last year, and they started out horrible. Starting off with that freaking loss to Georgia Tech in Dublin, which was a crazy game in itself. But dude, they started out winless for a while. They couldn't compare with it. It was hard to watch, very much, and it's just you were just waiting for them to get it together. And by the time they had gotten their first win, they were already long past being bowl eligible. Because they had to scrape just to get that. So it's like now it's like they get great athletes. They had a guy from our old high school play there. He went undrafted. But this is a make or break year because they're looking at it like, look, bro, I don't know if you can make it through the season. And guess what? If you're not, then we're just going to buy you out and get you out of town because they're in a mecca. They're in a center point of one of the greatest talent pools in America, being in Florida. Right. And obviously you have to compete with Miami. And you compete with Florida and even some of those small Group of 5 schools. Like, you have the facilities to compete with any of them. You have the brand to compete with any of them. And you have reach to go grab anyone anywhere. There's no excuse why Florida State was sitting at 2 wins. They just didn't do their due diligence and fill this team out correctly after they were all in on the year before. Now, Jordan Travis goes down, and then they don't have the quarterback, like how you were saying. You don't have that guy to run your offense the way you need to. Now the team's one-dimensional, and they're leaning on the defense. This year, I don't know what they're supposed to have a really good quarterback coming in for Florida State. Maybe that'll be the difference maker. Maybe they can come out hot, and maybe not hot, but at least they can come out on the right foot early. Maybe he can pull a Billy Napier and try to secure his job. But I promise you, if they get 5 games in and they're only like 2-3, that seat's gonna be that leather's gonna be peeling. They're gonna be calling for his job. So at the end of the day, all these guys are on the hot seat to an extent. There's so much money involved to Norvell, and that was premature them paying him that contract to start with.
Yeah,
he's definitely got a lot to live up to, especially early on in the season.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I agree. He's got the toughest job. Now, I think Tony Elliott's probably like I don't know how good they're going to be.
Virginia was horrible, bro. Like you thought Mississippi State was bad. Virginia was like Mississippi State. Like they were just bad. And then Wake Forest is not a bad program. But Sam Hartman transfers out to Notre Dame, and now it's like, wow, like, well, you can't just fill that spot with anybody because not everybody can handle that kind of fast pace. Like they ran like a Mike Leach style offense, just spreading the ball out everywhere and just pushing the ball down the field. And not
of the 5 wide receiver.
And not every quarterback can handle that kind of offense being up tempo like that because, like he said, they would run the table on anybody in the conference when he was their quarterback. And in the 2 years since he's been gone, they have been abysmal. So I'm hoping that they can get together because Wake Forest ain't a terrible program at all. And then when you talk about Cal, it's like Cal's like kind of in a weird spot because they're the new team in the conference, but they don't have really any expectations. But they've had enough good players and decent winning that, hey, you should at least be bowl eligible and not like struggling. So I think that those boosters are going to be looking for him to be in that 6 to 8 win range. If not, then he's going to be in an uncomfortable spot.
No. I agree, man. I just think those guys, man, those 2 guys, Tony Elliott and Norvell, are probably in the toughest spot because Clawson, I feel like he's built up enough good seasons to really kind of save his job for at least one more season. At least one more, man. But we got to bring in the welcome mat, Kendall. Got to bring in the welcome mat, man. We got 2 new coaches that are in this conference.
I really like one of the fits very much so. And I'm pretty sure you're going to know who I'm talking about.
Right. So Stanford has had a lot of good players over the course, including John Elway. That's probably the most notable. No, then you got Andrew Luck as well. But I mean, Elway's probably the guy that you probably know and see a lot from Stanford, right? They falling on hard times, man, because as I mentioned, the best players don't always have the best GPAs. And Stanford is one of those schools that you have to have. You get a degree from Stanford, you probably can go to any job you want. So that's the type of power academically they have. And don't get me wrong, they've had some pretty good football teams. They really have. But they've fallen on tough times. Andrew Luck is now the GM of the school for football. Since he's retired now, he's going into some executive work. And he tried to coach because I think he was bullying players.
Right.
But it's all right. But yeah, so he was bullying players, and Andrew Luck got rid of him, man. So he brought in Frank Reich, an old friend. I think he coached with him at the Colts or something like that. Maybe. I don't know. But it's easy to bring in a guy that has had a lot of experience coaching, right? He's coached some good teams. He's actually been a pretty good player in the NFL. If you think about quarterbacks, man, backup quarterbacks that just know they role, I'm here when you need me. I'm ready. That's Frank Reich, man. Frank Reich is he had the biggest playoff comeback ever. I think it was 1990, 91, something like that. But I think Jim Kelly went down with injury. And he played that game, and the Oilers were unstoppable offensively. Warren Moon, nasty, all of that, right? But backup quarterback led them to the biggest comeback in the win. And there you go. I think that might have been their second Super Bowl out of 4 in a row. So there you go, right? Go to the next one, man. All right, yeah. What's good, little Timmy? Yeah, what's good, man? I fucks with it. Thank you for appreciating the show, man. Got some technical difficulties, but we getting through it, man. But Brandon, who is the resident Patriots fan of us both, probably has a lot to say about this next hiring, man. As you see, this man has a lot of rings on his finger. Has a lot of rings on his finger.
2 from us.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry about that. But I mean, he stole one from me. He stole one from me. Spygate. Nah, man. But what you think about Chapel Hill Bill going to
Good,
North
you got
Carolina?
the name right. Let's go. Now, I'm kind of indifferent because you got to think he's been out of the college game for so long. Dude, that's night and day different. We're talking like 30 plus years different. I mean, North Carolina's kind of in a state of dysphoria, not a football school, but have had relevancy recently. Now, over the last couple of years with Mac Brown, they came to mutual parting of ways because they wanted to start off on the right foot. Him going to North Carolina shook me because who the hell would a 6-time Super Bowl winning head coach, more with the Giants, of course, but leaving the ranks of the NFL to go college? It's interesting, but it's a cool ploy because it's like, yeah, you haven't coached in college in a long time, but you have the ploy to when guys are going in for recruiting. They're like, oh, I get to go play for a Super Bowl winning head coach, possibly the greatest head coach in NFL history. They might not have the biggest brand or the biggest reach, but a lot of people will want to play in that kind of system and they want to be in that environment. Now, how do I know if how he's going to react? I don't know. I haven't heard a whole lot about how recruiting's going for him. I've watched some play-by-play and him talking to players, and they seem like they, everything goes smoothly. You don't see that freaking dogmatic talk. Everybody talks about him in New England being all, but I think it'll be interesting. Obviously, they don't have crazy expectations, but there is a level of expectation because you're Super Bowl winning head coach. They'll want to see some kind of relevancy. I mean, realistically, they want to probably see him get at least 6 wins this year. A bowl game in year 1, I think, is realistic. Will it happen or not? I don't feel like we really have a basis to go off of to say whether or not. I know they had got a really good quarterback in recruiting. He's like a 4 or 5-star guy. So that was a really big landing for North Carolina. And that kind of thing right there helps get other guys that want to come into that building. Other guys to transfer in to build an actual decent squad. North Carolina doesn't get a whole lot of 4 or 5-star guys. So when you get a guy like that, guys come call and guys want to come play there. So I think North Carolina will be okay. I think they could maybe hit 6 wins, but I'm kind of open-minded. I really like Frank Reich. That's probably one of my favorite offensive-minded guys. I feel like he kind of got the shaft in Carolina. They really did him dirty because he didn't want to draft Bryce Young. He wanted C.J. Stroud. And the owner told him, no, you're going to take Bryce Young. Then 4 or 5 games in, it doesn't work out, and then they fire him. Before that, he was an offensive genius with the Colts, and he was in Philadelphia before that. Really smart guy. And when Andrew Luck went and got him, I thought that was a really good fit because
he said next 3 years they'll start being good.
Everything okay?
Yeah, no. Somebody in the comments, little Timmy, he trying to say something, but autocorrect problem.
Yeah, it's okay. But
nah,
I thought the marriage with Reich and Luck was a really good fit because I think he's just one of the better offensive minds in the game. And obviously Stanford, like you said, they do have academic limitations. You can't get everybody. But I think them being in the ACC now and you get a guy like Reich to run the team and be the coach, I think that's a really good first start because you're in a whole new conference and you got a whole new guy running the team itself. I think Stanford now, they've been kind of down in the dumps. I feel like since CMC left, in my opinion, I don't think they've really been that great since then.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a process, but I think they'll be good. I think they'll be competitive. I don't think they'll be great this year. This is one of those things that's going to take a couple of years to build it from the ground up and do it right.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Little Tim said they're gonna build their team. Yep, yep. And then next year they might be good in 3. They might be good because you got, like I said, man. Andrew Luck played there, so obviously you got to be a pretty smart dude to play there.
Right.
So you know what kind of players you're looking for. Like I said, so I think it'll be good. But everybody who's watching, keep in mind that Frank Reich is on an interim status. He hasn't even been named the full guy yet. So it helps a little bit, like, hey, maybe, we're just gonna wait a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But I do think it's good that they trying different stuff, man. So I like it, man. So as we get into the actual breakdown of the teams, man, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, man, to give y'all a chance to rest your eyes and stretch, because we got the breakdown coming up, man. So you run that commercial, Brandon.
Yep.
I'll be having trouble finding it, man.
It's okay. We'll be right back. Commercial break. We'll see you guys in a second.
We've been trying to get it together, but we're gonna get it right. Man. But we are back, people. This is a football frame of mind. Let's get into this ACC breakdown, man. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it done. And we've been struggling with this internet, but we good to go. We're good to go right now. So we're gonna start off, man, with the ACC champion. That is Clemson, dog. Clemson fought their way through a tough season, man. Tough season, but they made it, and they made it to the title game due to Miami losing to Syracuse in that last game of the year. But their playoff life wasn't very long. All right, they end up losing to Texas, man, who end up having a pretty good run themselves. But nonetheless, they got one of the best rosters coming back. I mean, you got one of the best quarterbacks in the league, well, in the country, should I say. And that's a good start when you're trying to, go for a national title, man. So I think between Cade Klubnik and Peter Woods and whatever they throw at you at running back, because it's probably going to be fast and pretty tall in terms of running backs. They always keep them. So I think they'll be good. I think they'll be top 3 in this conference, and expect them to be either in the playoffs or probably, in the playoffs, because we got 12 teams now. So they can be in with like 3 losses like they were conference champion, right? Because I feel like the ACC might beat up on each other, I think it's some good teams that's going to lose and going to lose a couple games. But I think it's going to be at least 4 teams with like 2 losses. I don't think anybody's beating everybody all year, But it doesn't work. We seen Oregon last year. Oregon beat everybody all year, and then they lose like in the first round. So, no. I think when you lose a couple games, that's where you get your national champion, a team that's tough. and I think they're gonna be all right, man. So, but I can take one, and then you take one. We can do it like that if you want to.
Or we can just alternate. Like, I mean, we can both have a take on the same team. We just don't have to have a long spill.
Oh, okay. All right. Either way.
I
So what
think
you think?
I think Clemson is the obvious favorite. I feel like Clemson is like the Penn State of the Big Ten in the sense that from top to bottom, they have really good depth, and at their starting positions, they're very talented and very athletic. I think this is probably the best team Clemson's had over the last 5 years or so. Last year they were good, but I feel like from top to bottom, this team's probably the most talented. I don't think there's any other team in the conference that even comes close to them roster-wise. I think if Klubnik is going to live up to what we've been talking about since he was a freshman, if he plays anything like that potential, Clemson's an automatic playoff team in my eyes. They do have a tough game week 1. They play LSU, but they play them at home, which is a favorable situation. LSU can't win week 1 games for whatever reason. But top to bottom, and the thing that really impresses me is not just their starters, but they're really good depth too, and they're really well coached. I think they're the obvious favorite and the easy favorite for me to come out of the ACC and obviously make the playoffs like last year.
All right, no, man. So, history lesson.
Mm-hmm.
You know what LSU calls their stadium?
Nah.
They call it Death Valley.
Yeah, I knew that. Okay.
Yeah. Clemson also calls theirs Death Valley.
Mm-hmm.
LSU Tigers, Clemson Tigers. Must see television week 1. Let's just say that. That's gonna be a good game, man. But like I said, we go into the next team, man. SMU was a runner-up, obviously, in the championship game, man. So, what you think about SMU, Brandon? What you got?
Well, I like their quarterback for one. They have a really good coach, and they're still talented. Now, I will say in regards to SMU, I think the College Football Playoff Committee will be a little more hesitant when trying to push another ACC team in there because of what we've seen last year, because the big controversy was, SMU barely lost to Clemson, but it's like, well, you got 2 or 3 SEC teams that have more losses, but they're a better team and they have a better schedule. But the committee went with SMU because they hung in there with Clemson very close. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to look past strength of schedule. SMU gets the playoffs and they get the brakes beat off of them. So I think in favor of SMU, for them to make the playoffs this year, they need to be even better probably than last year, if not trying to win the ACC championship, because I don't think the College Football Playoff Committee is going to be quick to just push a team in there without looking at strength of schedule and like who the teams they've beaten. Because when you look at the other teams that were supposed to be in there, like Ole Miss, South Carolina, Alabama, they all had way stronger schedules. They played better talent. They played better competition, and they were just better teams overall. You could have put any 3 of those teams in there, and they would have fared way better than what SMU did. And there's no knock on them, but, I mean, it was the first year of the 12-team playoff. It was trial and error, but I think it's going to play into whoever's like second and third in this kind of conference. It's going to be not as in favor of them, at least not this year, because I feel like they're going to get kind of the shaft in the sense that they're going to probably just put the better team, the better conference team in there. If they fall into a similar situation, I feel like the SEC or the Big Ten is going to get a nod before them. I think SMU will still be good. I don't know if I see them 11 wins, but they could still fall anywhere between 8 and 10, in my opinion. They're still really talented, and they're one of those teams that are sneaky good, a dark horse team that could still find their way in the playoffs. I just don't think this year is going to favor them well if they play anything like last year.
All right, no. That's kind of my rebuttal too, man. I think Kelly Jennings is one of the best quarterbacks in the conference. I think he's good, man. And SMU's had a rough road, man. When they got that death penalty in the 80s, it really messed their program up. Death penalty is when they suspend your football operations for a whole year.
Dang.
Yeah. But they was doing a lot of cheating, man. Look, usually you feel bad for a team like that. Nah, don't feel bad for them, bro. They was doing some cheating, bro. Like they trying to get the best team money could buy.
That's the Eric Dickerson days.
Eric Dickerson, Craig James, man. Like that was the Pony Express is what they called it. Right. So when they program got death penalty, it really put them at a hole.
And it took them decades to shake back.
Decades, man. Like at least 20 years to really
Oh,
get
over
better.
that.
Yeah, like really bad, So they got one of my favorite coaches, June Jones, another disciple of the 5 wide spread thing. He was really good with Hawaii back in the day with Colt Brennan. Colt Brennan passed for like 50 touchdowns, bro. Easy. You had to stay up to midnight to watch him play because they always in Hawaii. But it was worth it because they was gonna put on a show, man. And they did, man. But he really kind of orchestrated a new era for SMU football, man, because they was fun, it was exciting, man. And then they had a couple guys here and there that did really good, right? But this is the best they've been probably since the 80s. So they'll be a really, really good team next year, man. But I don't know. I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs, man, because I think they're gonna be in a spot like this, but it's not gonna be easy for them to get into the playoffs this year, man. Because, like you said, I think they're gonna go with the better team, but I still think that they'll make some noise, man. They'll make some noise, man. So, but let's get into this next team, man. Let's get into this next team, working our way down, man. All right, so we got Miami, man. The U, you know what I'm saying? You gotta hold it up, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, man, this is a historic program. Your best player, your brother's favorite player, now probably your favorite player, have all went to this school, right? So they fallen on hard times. They was doing some cheating too. But I felt like the NCAA had it out for them anyway because they was winning too much. They was getting too much love. The players were getting too good, right? We got to find something they doing wrong, right? But they fell on some hard times, man. But last season, real close to the playoffs, man. Real close. Like literally one game. They won that game against Syracuse flat out. They already won, man. But first overall pick in the draft is a big flex, man. But it's also a big piece that you're missing, right? So you go out and find another good quarterback. Fuck it, let's run it back. Not the dynamic athlete, but still a pretty good passer, right? So I think Miami's success really hinders on the development of that tackle that we showed at the beginning, Francis, and Carson Beck, going back to normalcy. Right? Not forcing the ball into coverage, just taking what's there, right? So if he can do that, expect him to be a top 5 draft pick next year, because he already had the look the year before. He just started playing bad. But some more tape is sort of good, but it also can be bad. The longer you're in college as a top prospect, the more holes they can pick in your game. You know what I'm saying? Like if you were just a redshirt freshman, right? Or redshirt sophomore, should I say. So technically you're a junior, but you're a sophomore in terms of eligibility, right? You can just go, right? They don't see the holes. They don't know how good you are, none of that, right? But he's going to be like a 5th-year senior or something like that. So now we got like 3 or 4 years to pick a hole in his game, right? And last year they picked a whole lot. He'd take too long with the ball. He'd make bad decisions, right? Things like that. But coming into this season, Miami's gonna need they're gonna need him to be successful, man. If not, they're gonna be like a 7-8 win team if he don't play well. Because he's important. Like last year, you saw how important Cam Ward is. Take Cam Ward off of that team's ass. And this year they got the same boat. They really didn't do much to fix the long-term problem at quarterback. So I think if he plays good, you got yourself a playoff team. If he plays bad, like he did at Georgia last season, just 7-8 wins, in my opinion. What you think?
So I've got 2 major talking points, and they go hand in hand. Before we get into the quarterback situation, nobody's talking about them not having Restrepo is a big deal because him and Ward were like this. That offense flowed through those guys. So before we even get to Carson Beck, when you lose a guy like Restrepo, and the fact that the Titans ended up getting him was pretty cool too. But you lose a guy like that, like he was the get up and go guy. He helped that offense go, and they were inseparable together. So I want to see how they're going to respond to not having that guy who's going to step up, because I didn't really see Miami make any big splash moves in the portal or recruiting. Like they do good, obviously, but nothing that made me like, oh. Now, when you talk about Beck, this year's going to go either one of two ways. Either one, the drop-off in competition is going to be easier for him, and he's going to pick it apart, and he's going to end up being, like he said, a top 5, top 10 draft pick. Or he's really not as good as what we thought he was, and he struggles again. I don't think you're going to get anything in between. He's either going to embrace the moment and ball out and live up to what we thought he was 2 years ago, or he's really not the guy we thought he was, and he's still going to struggle. And if he's still that guy who's going to struggle, Miami's not going to be that good. Talented, 7-8 wins, but that's just not going to cut it in Miami. More times than not, though, do I think he's going to do well? Yeah, because it's the ACC. It's a big difference from the SEC. I think he'll play well. I think he'll have more time to make better decisions, be able to read the defenses better, and not make nearly as many bad mistakes, because he would just force balls into tight coverage. He just wasn't, like how he said, really not a good decision maker. So more times than not, I feel like he's going to be fine because of the drop-off in competition, but I feel like it's either boom or bust with him. There's no in-between, and depending on how he plays is how good this team is going to be.
All right, man. So let's get into this next team, man. All right, Syracuse, man. So Syracuse put the whooping stick on Washington State, man, in the Holiday Bowl, which go back and watch some of those Holiday Bowls, bro. They was lit, man. They had some good-ass games in the Holiday Bowl, man. But nonetheless, man, Syracuse 10 wins last season, man. Brandon Brown has really been doing good for them, man. I don't necessarily follow Syracuse that heavy, but I do know that Brandon Brown is changing the culture up there, man. Like I said, it's a basketball school by nature. Some really good basketball players. Carmelo obviously went there. So some really good basketball lineage there, man. But I think this year they might get to about 8 to 9 wins. But out of them 8 to 9, they're going to beat a Clemson, a Georgia Tech, or somebody else. They're going to steal one or two. They're going to steal something from somebody, man. And they're going to make it real interesting in the title picture, even if they're not in it, you know. So that's really my take on them. I expect 7-8 wins, but I expect them to be a thief in the night, man. They're going to make somebody's journey to the playoffs sad. So, yeah, that's really my take on Syracuse, man. What you got?
I think with them, they've shown since he's been there, they're very scrappy and physical, and they're very well coached. I'm mostly interested to see what's going to happen with them because their quarterback is a transfer from us. Ricky Collins was our backup quarterback last year. Didn't really get to see the field very much. And obviously, LSU, Nussmeier's coming back. You had another guy transfer in, and then you have another really good guy in Hurley who's the third guy. So he wanted to leave, get a fresh opportunity. I think he's going to do really well. We didn't really see too much of him at LSU for obvious reasons. I think they'll be good defensively. I think their success is really going to garner on how he plays. I think he's going to be good. He's a really good quarterback in high school. I think Syracuse – I would agree. I think Syracuse could fall into 8 to 9 wins, but I want to see what Collins can do for them, and is he really going to step up to the plate and kind of fill the shoes of what McCord did last year?
Okay, no, I can see that. Man. Like I said, Kyle McCord was a complete, utter baller last season, man. Like, he was so good, man. I was like, man, if he showed that Ohio State, they'd probably be back-to-back champions. You know what I'm saying? That's how good he played, man. But nonetheless, man, that's Syracuse for you, man. Expect them to be a thorn in the side of everybody in the ACC, man. So we move down the line, man. Louisville, man. So Louisville had a good Sun Bowl, man. That was really an enjoyable game, man. I ain't gonna lie. I love bowl season, man, because you get to see matchups that you probably don't see in a long time. Some helmet games, right? Like Alabama and Michigan. Like you probably wouldn't see those teams play unless it's a national title or a bowl game, right? So Washington is a representative of the Big Ten now, right? So that's Ohio State, Michigan State. That's that conference, right? So that was a pretty good game for them to play in. Now Washington wasn't that good, but the fact that you struggle with them, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't expect much from Louisville this season. I think they might win 7, 8 games. I think that's where I'm comfortable with. I don't think they made the necessary leap in places that they needed to, right? So it's like another team that's been fighting for that next guy, right? When you have a Heisman winner, that's a big step in your school's history, right? Like when you win one. Now, if you got a school like say Alabama, USC, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, right, that's had a bunch of Heisman winners throughout their whole history, right? There's like, ho hum, right? We'll find one eventually, right? But when you have people like Louisville and Lamar Jackson wins, it's like, oh my God, this is the first time ever. You know what I'm saying? So it changes the dynamic. Like, okay, now the fan base is like, well, can we get another one?
Right.
You know, can we win another one? Can we get another Heisman? Can we do that? So they're in that type of space. Now they got a new coach anyway from Purdue, right? So he's probably going to change some things a little bit. But I mean, 9 wins in year 2 is pretty good.
Right.
That's a good start going into next season. So when you think about Louisville coming this season, I think it might be a little regression because I don't think they made the necessary moves to win an ACC title. You know what I'm saying? But I do think they'll be respectable, and the coach will be real good. You know, so I think that's where they go, in my opinion. What about you, Brandon?
I think they're bowl eligible. I want to see how Miller Moss does going to Louisville, having what the year he had last year at USC. Kind of felt like it was up and down.
Yeah.
Came out really hot in the first game, and when he was really good, he was really good in other games when he wasn't. I think it's a lot less pressure playing at Louisville compared to them and playing in the ACC compared to the Big Ten. So, I mean, I don't think they made big moves. I think Louisville will still be a bowl team, but I do want to see like how he's going to play. Will he get better? And will he have them in better standings?
Okay. All right. No, that's fair. That's fair, man. That's somebody trying to break into my office.
His mom, bro.
Well, I mean, it's something on the door. You can't get in. You can't get in. There's a reason for that. Not gonna have little fella come in here and start unplugging stuff. Okay, not doing that. All right, so we're getting to Georgia Tech, man. 7 wins last year, but when I say they were in almost every game that they played in, they were tough to beat last year, including almost beating Georgia.
Was that a team that lost they lost other games the last 2 minutes?
Something like that. Something like that.
They should have beat Georgia though. Georgia should have took the L.
It's like 4 or 5 overtimes, right? So, like I said, back in the day, that was a classic, right? But now it's not so much because overtime, you get into like the third overtime, then you got like 2-point conversion.
And they changed the overtime rules too. It's not like when we played A&M when we played like 8 overtimes. You was like, bro, is this ever gonna end?
Yeah, so they're like, oh, we gotta save the players and everything. I'm like, nah, man, I want to see blood. I want to see destruction. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, the last man wins. I want to see that. Because I mean, 2-point conversion is kind of whack, man. It's like one.
I don't think it's that bad. I'm surprised the NFL hasn't taken an approach like that, to be honest with you.
Man, it's whack to me, man. I'm sorry. I can't stand it, man.
You
already take away feel like kick returns. Like nobody kick returns at all. I'm like, you gotta leave me something to make me feel like football ain't becoming this powder puff game. You know what I'm saying? You flag people for getting hit too hard, and then you gotta look at the play to make sure he wasn't hit illegally. Like, come on, man. Like, we want to make the game enjoyable for the fans, right? And I get it. I'm all for player safety, right? But this is contact sport.
Not when you're saying
Right.
blood and destruction.
I mean, it's a contact sport. Put your mouthpiece on, man.
It's true.
That's what they
Fight the
do.
game, though.
Yeah, you put your mouthpiece on, man. That's what you're supposed to do, right? But nonetheless, man, I've got off my soapbox, man. But Georgia Tech, man, they've had a really good opportunity to maybe get into the ACC title, man. I think they got one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and his ability to run and pass, just as equally. I think that helps them a lot, man. I think we mentioned Eric Flowers, one of the biggest pickups in the transfer portal. He was balling at FIU. Now, this is a step up in competition, man. I've seen guys come from the smaller school to go to the big one, and it's like, it's a little bit too much, a little bit physical. I've also seen guys come from these little schools and ball out. J.J. Watt was one of them. He walked on to Wisconsin and turned into a top 15 draft pick, right? So you gotta want it, So I really want to see how he affects it, because if he's really good, you got a problem on your hands, because now you can't just focus on, let's just stop Haynes King. You got to stop him from catching the ball and going 50 yards on you. He does that easy. So, big pickup for them, and I'm really excited to see what they can do, man. Georgia Tech has had some good players. They've had a whole philosophy shift though since like 7 years, 10-ish, maybe 7 to 10 years. Because before this, they ran a triple option.
Yeah, when they had Calvin Johnson and all that.
Yeah, they had Calvin Johnson there. And you run a triple option with Calvin Johnson. Think about that.
For what?
Exactly. For what is the question you should be asking? Why would you do that? But, I mean, he made it work. He made it work.
They had some receiver, too. I didn't know who it was.
Yeah, they had Calvin Johnson, and they had Demaryius Thomas, too.
Okay.
So they've had some really, really good receivers there. They just ran a triple option for some reason. But, I mean, when they did choose to pass the ball, that's a pretty good option to pass the ball to. You know what I'm saying? Calvin Johnson made a fool out of a lot of cornerbacks, man, just because he was big as hell. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, now they run kind of a spread offense a little bit more modernized, should I say, man. But Haynes King makes that a whole lot easier. So I'm thinking, man, Georgia Tech can win about, I'm going to say 10 or 11 wins, man. I think they can get to that point of making the ACC title. I think they'll be real good, and I think they got a chance. So that's where I'm going. Now, the question is, are they going to get beat by the team that steals wins, Syracuse? Are they going to get beat by one of them? Because that would change the whole season, man, especially if they get to rolling, man. So, like I said, and they got Georgia at the end of the year. So, like I said, if you beat Georgia going into the playoffs, look out. So that's my thing. What you think?
The ACC is going to be a beat-em-up conference, but you pretty much stole my spell. I think Georgia Tech's a dark horse to run through the ACC. I just think they're really good. And we've seen the difference in Haynes King when he was at A&M compared to where he's at now at Tech. Like, that's dangerous. Like, he can scoot, like we like to say on the show. He's got some wheels. He can scoot. He's got a good arm. You bring in a guy like that, you think that can be an immediate impact at the receiver position. Georgia Tech's scrappy on defense. They're well coached. They play within their means. They're not overly risky, but what they're really good at, and that's just being dangerous, especially offensively. Yeah, I think Georgia Tech's floor is 9 wins, but I could see them anywhere around 10 or so.
Okay. See, we on the same page, man. We be right on it, man. So let's get into this next team, man. So we got the Duke Blue Devils, man. Like I said, basketball school by nature. Took a real bad loss in the bowl game last year, man. But finished the season of 9 wins, man. I don't really know, man. I feel like this year might be a even more regression. I'm thinking like 6 to 8 wins, right? Not much, but a little bit less, you know. They brought in some players, like a defensive player in the transfer portal, man. But they ain't make no splash. You know what I'm saying? Because they lost a really good guy a couple years ago, and Riley Leonard. He went to a bigger school at Notre Dame. So you need that signal caller, man, when you have an offense like that. You know, that's kind of shifty. You need a running back. Or not running back, but a running quarterback. You know, so just to make it go a little bit better, man. So we'll see. I don't know. I think they'll be in the 6 to 8 win range, right? They'll make it interesting. Also a team that could probably steal one, you know, especially on defense. If they make it ugly, rainy game, muddy outside, like they could ugly it up and steal a win from somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because that's kind of how they coach. You know, Manny Diaz is a defensive dude. You know, so we'll see. We'll see. But I'm thinking 6 to 8 wins, man, and I think they might steal one. That's what I'm thinking.
So, I mean, Duke loses their starting quarterback from last year. Malik Murphy transfers again, goes to Oregon State. They get a guy in Darren Mensah, who's a transfer quarterback from Tulane. He could be really good. I think Duke is just one of those teams that are not overly talented, but they play within their means. They play well. They're well coached. Manny Diaz kind of got the shaft at Miami. Got to go to Penn State, comes to Duke. I think he's just kind of filling that role like Elko did until he's able to get a better job. I think Duke will still be a good team. They'll be bowl eligible. 7 to 8 wins is the highest, though, for me.
Yep. So bowl eligibility, you know what that is?
You're eligible for a bowl?
No, but how many wins you need?
I don't know how many.
Like six.
Sometimes you can make one at 5, depending on
like your academic standing. If you got a good school academic and they running out of like numbers or whatever, they'll put you in at 5 and 7. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta win though, because then you end up with a record of like 5 and 8, and that's just ugly. But nonetheless, man. But you do get in, man. I've seen some teams get in at 5 and 7, man. But 6 is good. You know what I'm saying? That'll get you in there. All right, let's get into this next squad, man. All right, so Virginia Tech, man. So we're getting into the teams that was kind of mid last season, right? But my boy PJ Fleck from Minnesota rode a boat. That's my favorite coach of the Big Ten right now. Second favorite, Brett Bielema, big dude, Arkansas. He coached at Arkansas for a while, man. He was fun. You know what I'm saying? He's a fun coach, man. But my second favorite coach in the Big Ten is PJ Fleck from Minnesota. So that's who Virginia Tech lost to, man. So obviously they finished 6 and 6, barely scratching bowl eligibility, right? And then they end up losing, man. So I don't really know what to expect from Virginia Tech, man. I don't know. I could say they go 6 and 6 again. You know, like I'm not really excited about Virginia Tech at all, man. But I mean, just to be fair, I mean, I think it's 6 and 6 again, man. That range.
I think they fall in the same boat.
Yeah, anything more is really good. Anything less
is not good.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But anything less, you're not surprised either. Right. So you know kind of what you're getting. You know what I'm saying? You hope for a lot more, but I'm not really that excited about Virginia Tech, man. Not really, man. But what about you?
Nah, I said I think they fall into the same boat, to be honest.
Yeah, man. So don't expect nothing from Virginia Tech this season, man. You probably ain't gonna see that many games either. All right, so Boston College is in a different boat though, because that's a dangerous team too. And I'm gonna tell you why. All right, so last year they had kind of this option quarterback playing with them. His name was Tom Castellanos, right? He transferred to, I want to say, Florida State this year. So they ran kind of a power run offense, right? Mm-hmm. But this year they brought in Dylan Lonergan, another Alabama quarterback from the roster, from the Saban Exodus, you know what I'm saying, when he left the team. But they brought him in, and he's pretty good. A lot of the years going into the quarterback competition in the spring, fall camp, he was one of the guys that you kind of was like, okay, well maybe he can win the job. Right? Never happened, but now this is an opportunity to show everybody that he was right. So I think this is the quarterback that Bill O'Brien really wanted and really needs. Somebody in the pocket that's going to give you a chance to win inside the pocket. I don't have to worry about him running too much, running into trouble, as they say. So I really think this could help them win about 7 to 9 wins games. I think they could get 7 to 9 just based off the quarterback that they have. Now, the question is, does he stay another year if he balls out, or does he go pro? I don't know. But I am excited to see what he can do finally, being able to play. So what do you think, Brandon?
I don't think it was even set in stone that he was the starter because he's not even the only quarterback that transferred in. They got Grayson James from FIU, who was at one point ahead of him on the depth chart as well. So I wouldn't necessarily say that he's slated right away to be the starting quarterback.
I'm booking it. I'm booking it, man. I want to see him play, man. Gotta see it, man.
Boston College is just one of those teams that's just a thorn in someone's side. They're not overly talented. They're not flashy, but they know how to win games. Bill O'Brien's not a bad college coach. We don't really like to talk about what happened with Penn State over 10 years ago, but he filled into that role and kind of helped transition Penn State into what they are now with James Franklin. So I think 7, 8, 9 wins at the most, but I think they're going to be back in 7, 8 win range. I think Boston College will be relevant, competitive, bowl eligible, and maybe knock off one of those higher ranked teams later here.
Yeah. So we don't really get into what happened at Penn State, man, but we'll just say it was some nasty stuff going on that involved children and a prominent coach of that time. And
one of his assistant coaches, but yeah.
One of his assistant coaches at the time, man. And it gets wicked when you think about whether the big coach that was there slid it under the rug or he just didn't do it.
We're not going to get into details, but it went on for a while too. And it makes it complicated in that situation when your coach is questionably one of the top 5 greatest coaches ever, one of the greatest winning percentages either, a bunch of national titles. They made a statue for him too, I want to say at one point in time, Joe Paterno. It really complicates it. So we don't get like in the detail, but Bill O'Brien being able to slide into that role kind of helped transition them into a new era, like leaving a lot of negativity behind. Like I give him a lot of props when it comes to that.
Yeah, because it's tough, man. Like that's like Alabama coach right now trying to replace a legend, right? You're trying to replace a legend, but you're also trying to replace a legend that got a whole lot of dark cloud on it, right? So Bill O'Brien going to Penn State and fixing them at that particular time, crazy work.
That's how he got the Houston Texans job. That's how he got the Texans job because of him fixing it.
Yeah, nobody wanted to touch Penn State, bro. That's like nasty. Dude, nobody touching them, man. But we'll get into it like off air, man. But it's a deeper situation than just football. Let's just say that, man. But I don't like Bill O'Brien because of what he did at Bama. Okay, so yeah, I like him, just not as much because he ruined Alabama. Man. That's all, man. But it's good to see him winning though. But this is my dark horse of the whole conference, man. Pitt, 6 overtime loss against Toledo, man. One of the classic bowl games of last few years, man. But nonetheless, man, Eli Holstein was balling last season. It seemed like every game he had last season, he had like 400 yards passing. Flat out, he was balling, right? So now you end up having Desmond Reed, who will be one of the best running backs in the conference, really fast. So you got a 2-headed monster, man. Eli Holstein can throw, he can run a little bit too, but that's a dark horse, man. When you got a top-notch quarterback and a top-notch running back, that's a dangerous duo, man. And I think they can. I think they're gonna win 8 to 10 games, but I know they're gonna steal one. I think they're gonna steal a couple games. But I think 8 to 10 wins is where I'll be comfortable. Anything less is really dangerous. Anything less is dangerous because it's like, damn, you got all this talent. How'd you do it? But anything better, we call it a real good season for them, man.
I got them by 8 to 9 wins.
Okay. No. We fair. We fair on that. All right, man. Hey, you know they got a Heisman winner too. You know that, right? Tony Dorsett.
That was a long time ago.
Long time ago. Before me, but he was cold.
Before all of us combined.
Yeah, he was cold though. He was cold. He was cold as hell. Dan Marino went there too, by the way. And he was cold too. What, little dude? Get away from the door. All right. So we got NC State, man. So they barely got bowl eligible, 6-6, man. Had a rough conference schedule, as you see, man. 3-5 in conference, man. Barely got to a bowl game, lost to East Carolina. I want to say this was a rainy game, bro. It was ugly game, ugly bowl game, man. But nonetheless, man, they in a tough spot, obviously. Not having the necessary horses that you would get. But I mean, still a D1 school, man. All it takes is figuring out one player here, one player there. But I really think they can go around the same, but I'd be willing to go 8 wins. I would put, if I was a betting person, I would put money on 8 wins for them. You know, I would take the over on 6. I'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
So, what you think about NC State? You feel about the same?
I mean, after what happened last year with Grayson McCall, man, that sucked because Grayson McCall was hella good and battled injuries and stuff. Now he's not even playing football at all anymore, which really sucks.
Yeah,
they got CJ Bailey, who subbed in for him last year. He's going to be the starter for them this year. Man, it sucks. I feel like how you said NC State was like that team you always scared to freaking play, especially if you had to go play them at NC State. Now it's kind of like that aura has kind of worn off. I think they're bowl eligible, but I think 6-7 wins is the cap. I don't see it going any higher than that.
Yeah. I told you, man. They were the boogeyman, dog. Like they could score points on you quick, dog. Like if you had a question in your secondary, you didn't want to play.
That's why they brought him, but that's why they had got him to transfer in, because they thought he was going to be that missing piece, and it just didn't work out with injuries and other stuff.
Yeah, see, Grayson McCall last year, like he played at Coastal Carolina, right? And he played there for a good little minute. And when they joined the Big Boy League, which is the FBS, right? Because they were FCS school for a while. Mm-hmm. But when they joined it, Grayson McCall was there, and he won a lot of games, right? So when they got him, you would think like, okay, well, he's gonna just fit in perfectly, right? But I didn't think it would work because they ran like a triple option type of offense, right? And to run this type of offense, you have to be able to throw the ball downfield a lot, you know. And I didn't think it was the best fit. Now I thought it was cool because you know Grayson McCall was one of the best players in the country at the time, you know. But I felt like they needed a downfield vertical threat type quarterback, man, that could just throw it all over the yard and don't care how many times, you know. Then you mix the run game in there and cool, you know. But that's what I felt like, you know. But, you know, it didn't work out, man. But like I said, all it takes is one quarterback, man. You see it with Oklahoma State all the time. Mm-hmm. They just plug somebody in there and they throw for 5,000 yards.
And then they don't do anything in the NFL.
No, they don't do anything in the NFL. They don't do anything in the NFL. But it's exciting, though, in college. You know, you throw for a lot of yards. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what it is, man. But that's NC State for you, man. But let's see who we got. All right, North Carolina, man. So tough season last year. Mac Brown, the one I told you that went to Texas. Well, he came back to North Carolina a couple years ago and just finished his coaching career, scratched that itch that he had for a long time. And he's had 2 pro quarterbacks that came out of his time there. Sam Howell played for the Redskins, Commanders, however you want to call it. Yeah. And then Drake May with the Patriots now. So he had a really good run of quarterbacks there, right? So of course you're gonna have success, right? Then you lose that quarterback, and now you got to start over, right? So not so much, and his time had passed, man. He was old school, man, but he loved the kids. He loved the coach, the players, man. He loved them. So you can't say it was his passion. It's just, you get older and time passes you by, right? Now, I didn't think they were going to go same route with Bill Belichick this year. I didn't think that, but they did. So Bill Belichick brings, a different experience because he's got a bunch of Super Bowls. Mac Brown had won a national title. Had been to a few actually, or at least two. But you bring in a pro aspect to it. I was looking at their team this year. They bring in some other NFL coaches. Freddie Kitchens, who was head coach of the Browns for a little bit. He's offensive coordinator. So he's bringing in a lot of NFL minds, to, I guess, help the players understand that there's another level of preparation, right? And that level of preparation is probably going to help you even if you don't make it to the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Let's prepare for life after football. Let's be on time. Let's do things like that, the little things, right? So I think that's where he's going for. But I do feel like this is a shot at the NFL though, because it's like, oh, y'all think I can't coach anymore? All right, you think it's all Tom Brady, right? No, it's not all Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? Tom Brady was put in position to win. I did that too, right? They'll never come out and say me, I, right? They're always team dudes, right? But us fans know what the deal is. You don't win those Super Bowls without Tom Brady or Bill Belichick. Right. One helps the other, vice versa, right? So we know that. But some fans don't get it and they say, well, it was all Tom. He's one of them. Like, all right, whatever, bro. You do that shit with Drew Bledsoe. Okay? I don't think so. All right. Now Drew Bledsoe was good. But I don't think
Super Bowl with Drew Bledsoe too.
He went to the Super Bowl with Drew Bledsoe. He did. And Drew Bledsoe was the starting quarterback that season.
And he had just gotten a big extension.
Yeah. So no shot at Drew Bledsoe. But he wasn't winning 6 of them. Let's just say that. No, not doing that. Probably went to a couple more, but definitely wasn't winning 6 of them. So there you go, man. But I'm excited, man. I don't have no expectations for real. So I'd say like 7 wins. I say like 7 wins. But I wouldn't be mad if they lost a lot of games though, because you're still trying to figure things out a little bit. But nonetheless, I'd be cool with 6 or 7. I'd be cool with 6 or 7 wins, and we can start building from there. Because technically, we don't even know how long he's gonna be in North Carolina.
Right.
Because if he gets a job in the NFL, like say this works, say people like, well, he ain't coached in a while. I don't really know how I want to go, right? I don't really believe in Bill Belichick. I think he's lost his fastball, right? He wins here. It's like, okay, he still got it. Let's sign him to a contract, right? Because there's some NFL jobs that's going to be open at the end of the season too. So you never know, right? But I think about 6 or 7 will put you in the right spot. And then we'll see what happens next year. But 6, 7 is a good spot for me. What you think?
I mean, they start off good. They get a 4-star quarterback to commit, but they starting quarterback is probably gonna be a dual threat guy, Gio Lopez from South Alabama, who seems like he's gonna be really good. I think he's a good quarterback to go into this year with. I think Belichick's gonna really be about the X's and O's, doing the small things right, and having a guy like that he can mold and really like get the most out of. I think North Carolina's eligible. Give me 7 wins for North Carolina and Bill's first year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, man. We try to keep our show under like 3 hours, bro. We tried to, man. I think the longest show we did was probably the Super Bowl show. That was like 5 hours.
Now, Super Bowl.
Yeah. Now I've streamed personally for 8. Or was it 10?
Longer than that.
Was it 10?
You said longer.
It was 10. Okay, it was 10. All right. It was. I was having fun with NFL head coach, man. All right, my bad. I was having fun, man. But nonetheless, man, we got the Cal Golden Bears, man. As you see, 5 and 7. So they got to the bowl game. Probably what 5 and 6. So They didn't really do too much, man. Lost to UNLV, who had their own crazy season, to be honest with you. But I don't know if I don't think we're doing the Mountain West, so we really can't get into that. But a little synopsis: they had a quarterback. He left the team in the middle of the season because of NIL. He leaves. They still win a bunch of games, get to their conference title game, playing against Ashton Genty, and they not necessarily shut them down, but they made it a little difficult for them.
Yeah.
And they, then they get to the bowl game, man. And Cal wasn't good, but UNLV was pretty damn good.
I heard about that UNLV situation.
Yeah.
Now they got Muschamp.
Muschamp is what? The head coach?
Yes.
You lying.
At UNLV, yes. You didn't do
I
what
thought
Rocket
they had. No, I thought they had dude from Florida.
Watch.
Yo, I've been living under a rock, man. It's breaking news. I did not know it. So Will Muschamp is like a defensive guy.
Hold on. Maybe it's not. Hold on.
I'm about to say, Brad, don't tell me I'm tripping. But Will Muschamp was one of the best defensive minds in college football.
Okay, no, I didn't mean to say Muschamp. I meant to say Dan Mullen. That's what I meant.
Okay, I'm about to say. All right. So
I get them confused sometimes.
You helped me out with the name because I forgot who it was. But Dan Mullen was the coach at Florida, right? Really good. At a couple spots, right? Dak Prescott, he was his coach at Mississippi State. So Mississippi State, he took them about as far as you could take them. Number one in the country. That's as far as you could take them at Mississippi State because they ain't never been there before. So that's as far as you can really take them, and you develop Dak Prescott into an NFL quarterback. So there you go. And then he goes to Florida, which he was the offensive coordinator at Florida when they were winning national titles and stuff. So that's good. So he's going, he's doing pretty good there. They didn't even have money to pay him. But he's like, fuck it, I'll just go. You know what I'm saying? So we worked that out and they had a good season, man. They ended up winning that bowl game, man. But as far as Cal is concerned, I don't know, man. I don't know what to expect. I think they could be a little bit better. I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I really think they could be like maybe 3 wins next season, bro.
Okay.
I think they could be bad next season, man, because I don't see it. Like everybody can't win 6 games, you know what I'm saying? Somebody gotta lose, So that would be my, my team that probably finishes in the bottom 3 of the conference.
Yeah, I mean, they've got question marks at quarterback. So their quarterback, Mendoza, he transferred to Indiana. So he's going to probably be Indiana's starting quarterback. He's not bad. They get a guy who they recruited. He was committed to Oregon. He flipped from Oregon to committed to Cal. And then they have a guy whose name is Devin Brown, transfer from Ohio State. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. I remember Devin Brown.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, Cal's not overly talented. I think it's just going to come down to who plays quarterback and how good they play. I think Cal's probably in the 3 to 4 win range because, like you said, don't think they're a bad team, but the ACC has just gotten better, and I just don't see them being one of those teams that got enough better.
Yeah, so I feel like if Cal was still in the Pac-12, I think they would have been a pretty good team.
Oh, yeah, because all the Pac-12 has now is Mountain West teams, so they'd be fine.
Yeah, so I think they would be really good, man. So you remember the Pac-12 a little bit, don't you? Pac-12 a little bit, like USC, UCLA, all them schools. Yeah. So they had a conference, man, and then they just all them teams left and joined the Big Ten and the ACC respectively. So I don't know what that conference is going to be, but hey, they're getting their teams back. You need 8 teams to be an official conference. So I think as of right now, they got 7.
They need one more, and there's talks of them trying to grab a team out of the American Conference currently.
Yeah, so I see our background back there. We probably got to change that and add the Pac-12 to it, but nonetheless, they're adding teams, man, and that's a tough thing. But I think Cal and Stanford are the schools that's going to hurt the most from that move, because you it's hard. You're gonna have to literally build a whole new recruiting base. Like you have to keep your West Coast players that you can get, right? Say your hotbeds, the high schools that you recruit at all the time, right? You're gonna have to convince them to come to your school now, knowing that they have to play miles away at times. That's a tough recruiting pitch. Like you're a youngster, right? If somebody come into say you're a big recruit, and they say, well, you live in Texas, right? But we play in the West Coast Conference. You're like, so your mom got to travel 2,000 miles to see you play, sometimes, right? So it's a tough pitch to be, to do right now, But I think they'll be one of those rough teams, man. But yeah, man. So we get into Virginia, man. I think they might get 2 wins, bro.
We don't have to go deep into this. They're going to be a bottom feeder. I think 2-3 wins at max.
They gonna be bad, man.
Oh, they're ass.
Yeah, they ass, bro. like they. That's a bad team, dog. Like, and that coach gonna be fired probably before the season's over, man.
Virginia's not a very great program to start with. They're the little brother to Virginia Tech, in my opinion, which is crazy when you think about other like schools like that. It's usually like the main staple one. But Virginia just ain't been really good. Like they've had good players, but they're not where they need to be. They're in the bottom of the barrel, in my opinion.
Like this is where you go. Like if you're a 5-star guy that never played, you go to Virginia to get some playing time. That's where you go to say, hey, look at me. I can play. My team sucks, but look at me. Like that's where you go. Virginia's just ass, bro. I'm sorry. All right, man. So we get into the bottom feeders, man. So Wake Forest, man, I think they might get bowl eligible this season. I think they give you 6 wins. Then you get 6 or 7. But I think you get 6, man. They might be really good, man. Just not good, but better than this. I say they improved, man. What do you think?
I think 5-6 at the most. But they need a lot of dominoes to fall their way, though.
Yeah, but they fixed their quarterback and just let him throw the ball.
Wake Forest is one of those teams when they can throw the ball like that, they're good. Because they've had good receivers and stuff play there too, like A.T. Perry, a couple other ones here and there. Like they're not bad, but they just need a quarterback.
Yeah. All right, man. So Stanford.
Damn.
Yeah, they went 3-9, bro. That's bad. That's bad, man. But I think they probably in the same spot because they try and figure stuff out, man. Like they got a lot to figure out. Like I said, Cal, Stanford, the schools that's really like academically better than everybody else, it's gonna be hard for them to recruit guys to really go there. You know what I'm saying? So they end up in a situation where you got to give people that walk on scholarships. People that I want to play on the team. Let me play. Right, that's the situation you get into. Yeah, man, I'm serious, man, because it's tough to get really good players to go to these schools. Man.
Right.
But you end up with walk-ons that just like, hey, I want to play. And then sometimes them walk-ons is pretty good. Like I ain't played that much in high school, but I can play. And when you go to a school that's 3-9, they got time to develop a walk-on to be maybe an NFL draft pick one day. Maybe. They got time. So you never know. But I think they'll be in the same boat. So that's 2 bottom feeders for you. Virginia, Stanford. That's one of them. Those 2 right there, man. So let's see this next team, man. You have something to say about Stanford?
Yeah, bro, you skipped clean over me, bro.
My bad. I thought you were gonna make it quick, man.
Give me Frank Reich going into year 1. Give me 4 wins for Frank Reich. He gonna win one more game than he did last year.
Okay. No, I like that. See, I told you it was very fast, man. Cause you did the same thing I did. It's gonna be a bottom feeder though, but that's all right, man. All right, we should be almost done, man. All right, we get into the belle of the ball, Florida State, the belle of the ball, man. The once powerhouse team from the 90s, early 2000s, and 2010s is now at the bottom of this conference, man. Crazy we live in this era, but they 2-10 last season. They were like 0-5 at one point, fighting to even get to a bowl game, right? But nonetheless, man, I don't know, man. They got Tom
Castellanos. He's projected to be the starter.
There we go. I said Castanosis. My bad.
Casanova.
Yeah, Casanova. He did really good at Boston College, man. But I don't know how good he gonna be, bro. I don't know how good he gonna be because I don't know how good this team is. Like they stole 2 players from Alabama, right? And I was like, them dudes never played at Alabama. What they gonna do there? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know, man. I really don't know how good this team gonna be. I think 5 wins. 5 wins.
Now, if they win 5 wins, does he save his job?
Nah, bro. Nah, bro.
He's cooked, huh?
I think 5 wins and they looking for a new coach, bro. What you thinking?
I hate Florida State with a passion. But you know what? I'm gonna be generous today. Give Florida State 6 wins. Bowl eligibility. I think maybe he gets it back on track. That's the only way he keeps his job. If they make a bowl game, he keeps his job. If anything less, he's gone. I hate Florida State. They are the most annoying fan base in college football, hands down.
He lying. No, it's not, man. No, it's not. The most annoying fan base is definitely Ohio State.
And Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee is definitely annoying.
Cam loves Tennessee.
No,
he likes Auburn, too.
No, I don't like Auburn either. I don't like any of those schools. Those are all rivals of Alabama. So I don't like none of them, especially Tennessee, man. We almost
Cam really likes Hendon Hooker.
No, I definitely don't like Hendon Hooker, man. We beat Tennessee like 14 games in a row.
I'm not surprised.
Yo, and these were some ugly games, bro. I'm talking about we had a couple close ones here and there. But
so they be belt to
ass for like 14 straight. And then as we about to get this 15th win, and it's gonna feel good. We had Tennessee, Peyton Manning there. Like that offseason, they chose to hire Josh Heupel, who runs a wide open offense, fast pace. Hike the ball, give it to the ref. We back up once again, and they run this fast paced offense, man. And they almost got us the year before, but the next year they got us. They got us on a game-winning field goal, man. And I mean, when I say they tore that motherfucker down, they tore that stadium down. All you seen was orange everywhere. And then I want to say we got them the year after because they had another quarterback there, Joe Milton. He's quarterbacking. I forgot what
he's
team.
actually my cousin of my roommate.
Really?
He's on the Cowboys now.
Yeah,
but yeah, he's a cousin of him.
Yeah, see, so he was good, but not as good as Hendon Hooker was, right? So we ended up getting them, and then this past year they got us in like the last second. So the rivalry has gotten back to what it used to be because in the past generation, while I can't stand Tennessee, they were pretty damn good, and they won a national title. They had Peyton Manning, and he beat us all the damn time. And then they won a title in '98, and then we get into the 2000s. They were still pretty good, so they beat us pretty bad. So they had a run of games, about 8 in a row. So their rival has been flipped back and forth, right? And then Auburn's been kind of a rival for Alabama.
Auburn gonna get them this year.
Yeah, I think Auburn gonna get us, man. I put it on the record, dog. I don't care. I'm an Alabama fan, but I think Auburn has done the necessary things to get good. They have recruited in-state fantastically. That used to be what we did under Nick Saban. Like Auburn couldn't get those dudes. They'd get 1 or 2, right? But not enough to really retool.
Now they getting them they flipping them from Alabama. Now they're getting like all those big names, like 4 or 5-star guys.
Yeah, So like when you got two big schools in the same state, like I don't know how many miles, but it ain't that far. And like you just recruiting for the same dudes, you know. So I think they might get us this year. The question is, how many games have we lost at that point? And does it matter? Because even if they beat us, if we got like a 2-game lead in the conference standing, we still can go to the title game. We don't have to worry about that, right? You know, so that's my thing. Now, obviously, you want to beat Auburn because that's your rivalry.
Yeah.
But we've been beating them the last few years, real bad. So they got to get good eventually.
Right.
This happened, you know. When Cam Newton was there, we was up 24-0. And Cam Newton brought him all the way back 28-24.
Damn.
So, like, it shit happens. We had a game called the Kick Six where we was winning. We had a game. We had a game-winning field goal, right? I wouldn't have kicked that shit. I would have just punted it because I knew our kicker was ass. So I was like, why would you kick that? And then you sub no skill guys on the field. All
That's why they
linemen.
took that shit to the crib, bro.
Yeah, all skill dudes. All fat dudes. All linemen. And dude caught the fucking missed field goal.
I watched that clip a couple times. That was crazy.
Yeah. Talk about a person that watched that shit. Like, yo, we just lost to Auburn on a
field goal.
On a field goal, man. But hold on, let's finish this real quick and we'll close it on like college football stories, man. All right. So we gotta pick our title game, man. And a champion.
Shit.
So I'm thinking the title game this year, man, is gonna be interesting.
I feel like you're gonna pick the exact same thing as me.
I'm going Georgia Tech.
See.
And Clemson.
Trying to say there's no surprise on the other team.
Right. That's the only team that I'm sure about.
All right. What you think, Kendall? What you got?
I'm put my money on Georgia Tech. I don't know really anything else about the other teams that I've watched.
Virginia.
Right now. I just got my money on Clemson.
Put your money on the long shot.
You should put your poker chips on Florida State.
What?
I'm not comfortable in that shit. I'm not comfortable.
I told you I used to be a fan because of Jalen Ramsey. I used to be a fan, but then when I started seeing them start going downhill,
You even missed it before that when it was freaking was it Kelvin Benjamin, Jameis Winston, freaking
I ain't see all that. I was like elementary school.
That's
probably.
what I'm saying. You missed like even before that, like Derek Brooks, like.
Yeah, I think Clemson gonna be in there too, little Timmy.
Yeah, he stole my thunder because Georgia Tech's definitely gonna be in the ACC. Look, if I'm gonna have a hot take, that's the hot take for me. I just think they're really good, and nobody's talking about how good they are. And the fact that how Haynes King played last year, I know all he did was get better. And I like the fact that nobody's talking about them because they will shock a lot of people. Like if they don't fall, look. I think they make it to the championship game. If they don't win 8-9 games, I'd be very surprised, to be completely honest. I just think they're that good. And I think that head coach is going to be looking for a big extension after this year if they end up making the ACC championship game.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see them.
Because that's a place, like, it's not a big program, but, like, if you can win there, I think he'd want to stay, to be honest with you.
Yeah, man, because it's kind of a weird thing, the state of Georgia, right? Because Athens, where the Bulldogs play, is like the top school, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it used to be where the kids want to stay in Atlanta, where Georgia Tech is, right? But now it's kind of the power struggle has shifted a little bit. The kids don't want to stay in Atlanta anymore. They want to go out, which is really advantageous for Georgia because it's like they're not in the city, close enough, but not in there. So a lot of kids flock to, Georgia, man, and that's why Georgia's always been the big brother. But remember, I told you the other day that before Georgia went on that run, Georgia Tech had the most recent title in 91. because Georgia hadn't won since '80 with Herschel Walker. Now Georgia's good. You know, now Georgia.
And Georgia was relevant since then, but Mark Richt couldn't
Yeah.
the SEC was too good. He couldn't get them over the hump. It was just too much. And I like Mark Richt. He's one of my favorite coaches, but
Yeah, man. He went to Miami though. But yeah, if I had to pick a winner, I think Clemson wins it. I think Clemson wins it.
Same.
I think if Georgia Tech plays, if they play Clemson this year and they play them close, I think they can get them in the title game though. I wouldn't be surprised.
Let's see if they do play him though.
Yeah, man.
Let's see. Schedule. Ooh, they do play him, but they play him at Georgia Tech.
Okay.
That's a favorable, like, not saying they're the favorite by any means, but that's a freaking trap game.
That's a good one.
That's a trap game.
Yeah, that gotta be one of your primetime games. They gotta be. Because if Georgia Tech is as good as we say they are, they should be probably undefeated at that point. And you know Clemson is gonna be undefeated at that point too.
Who do they play up to that point? Let me see. Let's see. So Georgia Tech. So they open up the season. Where is the damn? Okay, there we go. So they play Colorado week 1. They should be able to win that game.
Okay. All right. We're gonna break down the Big 12 next week. So we're gonna have to talk about that one.
But they got Colorado. They play Gardner Webb, which is FCS. This is only the third game of the year they play Clemson. This is only week 3.
Oh, shit.
It's early. So if Georgia Tech beats them early on in the season, that could start a ripple effect. Because this isn't like a late in the year game. Like, this could dictate like how the rankings go, like, going forward. But they play them week 3.
I'm gonna say this question a little Timmy for the end. All right, I'm gonna start.
They got after Clemson, they got Temple at home. They play at Wake Forest. They're home against Virginia Tech. At Duke. Home against Syracuse, which is a good place to be. At NC State. At Boston College. Home against Pitt. And then the last game is at home against Georgia. So the big time games, they play at home this year.
Well, that's a good move. But damn, they play Colorado to start the season, bro. God damn. They really don't start the season soft at all. Last year they went to Ireland. Like, the travel is like, that was crazy anyway. Like, to play a game in a whole different country, like, that's wild to begin the season. But Colorado, man, after all the stuff they've been talking all season, they gonna be ready to play. And they got Marshall Faulk as a coach now. They got Warren Sapp as a coach now. Like, that's dangerous, man. So I don't know. But
we'll see.
But yeah. I think we all agree Clemson probably gonna win that thing, man. But yeah, that's the breakdown, man. We hope y'all enjoyed it, man. But you know, we're gonna end the show on some just, you know, helping my little brother understand some more college football stories we got, man. But first, let's take care of this question, man. I think so. I take it back.
There's a lot of question marks.
I take it back. I think so. I think he stays at Colorado, man. Just because I think he's having as much fun as you can think. You know, I think Deion Sanders is a very, very wealthy person, right? He don't need to be coaching. But one thing he enjoys is the kids. He enjoys coaching these kids. Right. And I think he's having as much fun as he's had in his life in a long time. And if you hear him talk about his playing days, they weren't all sunshine and roses. He had some really bad mental health struggles, right? So I think he's having a lot of fun. I think he had fun coaching his sons. I think Travis Hunter is a bonus son, and he won the Heisman. Like, that shit has to be exciting, man. And I think he's I think he's having fun, and I don't think he want to leave yet. It'd take a lot.
He's too deep rooted now. Obviously, there's a lot of concerns like with his health and stuff that he's had to miss a lot of time, especially with like spring and fall camp and all that. But he's too deep rooted. They've like did the right thing and they've built the culture a certain way. Like you don't just up and leave after that. Especially like the way he's going about business and built the like that. It's not like he goes somewhere and just wins and they're like, okay, well I'm gonna take another job or I'm just gonna leave. Like it's not that kind of situation. Like, they've literally flipped the culture over on its head and started completely over. That's not something you do if you're just gonna up and leave like 2-3 years into it. So at the end of the day, like whatever he's got going on, I think he'll get it sorted. I don't think he has any reason to go anywhere. It's like those stupid things that they thought he was gonna go to Dallas when they were looking for a head coach. I was like, that don't make no sense. I just for him, like, why would I take all that extra stress on having to coach grown ass men? I can stay in college, have fun, and try to compete for a national title. But the biggest thing for him, he wants to develop the athletes. I think that's the biggest thing for him. And not even just that. There's definitely a chip on his shoulder where people are like, oh, you can't win. You can't win. You won at the FCS level. You can't do it at the FBS level. Well, now it's like, well, I produced 2 first-round level talented players, not to mention a bunch of other players got drafted, have a Heisman winner. Team was only had 1 win the year before, and for a little while this season was considered to almost be they were almost considered to be a fringe playoff team at one time during the year. So there's no reason he should leave unless it's like health concerns and he physically can't do it.
Yeah, man, like they were rough, man. When he took over, they had won 1 game.
They were bad. Colorado hadn't been good. Colorado hadn't been good or decent since like we were in high school, and that was like over a decade ago.
Yeah, like, and they hadn't been like national power good
since the 90s. They won a national title in like what 94.
They had Cordell Stewart,
Steelers.
Yeah, Steelers. They had the Heisman winner,
Eric Bieniemy,
Rashad Salam. He had his year he won was probably the year where a small school person might have won it, because it wasn't like, oh my God, like a Reggie Bush or Travis Hunter or something like that. It's not like, oh my God, right? What is this doing? You know, it's like he's the best player on the best team, so let's just give it to him. Because Steve McNair was playing at Alcorn State and lighting shit up. That's what led him to be the 3rd overall pick that year, right? But he probably could have won it if people were like more open to that idea. Mm-hmm. But usually back then, sometimes you had years where the people would vote on it and they would say, oh, well, Gino Torretta, who plays on Miami, they about to go to the national title game. Not necessarily the best player in the country, but he's the best player on the best team, so probably he's the best player that should win. Not necessarily thinking that Marshall Faulk, who turned out to be way better player in the NFL than Gino Torretta was actually the best player in the country, having like 3 games of 300 yards rushing. The only problem is he played on the West Coast, where a lot of them old farts that vote on the award go to bed at 9 o'clock and don't want to stay up and watch. You know, so now we get into that point where last year, like where Ashton Genty was having this crazy ass season, but he played on the West Coast. And it's like, all right, well, Colorado's kind of on the West Coast, but not really. It's Mountain Time necessarily. So they're like, all right, well, we'll just see Travis Hunter because he plays both ways. My take was, yeah, he played both ways, but he wasn't necessarily the best player.
The best, yeah.
When you talk about dominating every fucking game you play, Ashton Genty was single-handedly probably getting 8, 9 in the box every play.
Yeah, you have to stop with 9.
But
yeah,
you still running, bro. You still running for like 250 yards every game. And in fact, he would have probably ran for like 3,000 yards if they wasn't blowing people out at like halftime. So, like, let's be honest, man. You know, like, you don't get close to Barry Sanders' all-time single-season rushing record by not being good. It takes a lot.
It's Barry Sanders.
Yeah. And Barry Sanders technically had like 3,000 yards that season if you count the 2 bowl games he played in. So, let's be honest. That shit is unbreakable. But he got close based off that standard. So my thing is, I felt like you got to reward somebody for that. You know, playing, even though you playing in a smaller conference, and that's what a lot of our fan base was saying, bro. He played in a little conference. Oh, imagine if he played.
Dude, we tried. We tried, man. We were on the fan base of like give it to Genty instead, but nobody wanted to listen.
Yeah, we was always like, we was always on that side. Like, let's just give it to Genty. He earned that shit. But you know, everybody's like, oh, he played in the SEC. If he played in the SEC with those type of linemen,
He still would have cooked, bro.
He still would have cooked. Like, he might have not had like 2,400.
Oh, he would have definitely put up 1,500.
But 1,500 has won
and double-digit touchdowns.
You know what I'm saying? Mark Ingram, who was our first Heisman winner at Alabama,
Right.
ran for like 1,600 yards, but he got the Heisman winner. You know what I'm saying? Now, it was some politics in that. I'll admit it was, because Toby Gerhart, who was a white boy running back,
that did a good run, bro.
He had like 2,000. So, me being a Bama fan, I want to do the win, but damn, 2,000 yards is a lot. You doing some things. That's tough.
That's Stanford.
That's Stanford. So come on, man. I was like, yo, if anybody should have got it, it's probably Toby Gerhart. But like I said, man, getting back into that kick six thing I was talking about, man, we probably ended on that one. But like I said, we had a bunch of linemen on the field, and when he caught it, he went straight to the sideline.
He did he pulled a Madden 04 Michael Vick, just hit the sideline and go.
Yeah, you know, so it was a tough one because we were going for a three-peat that season.
Dang.
We had beat LSU in 11. Then we had beat Notre Dame, which I think was the curse. Like, that's a Catholic school. So I think God was like, you don't beat my school like that.
They didn't just beat them, like they embarrassed them. And Manti Te'o did like absolutely nothing. So I would think that's probably what
was at the Heisman ceremony as a defensive player, which was pretty good.
Him and his fake girlfriend.
Yeah, his fake girlfriend.
Man, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Bro, you had to have lived through it. That was so crazy, bro. We in high school looking like, what is going on?
Because it was like, all right, like peep this out, right? So you're a high school kid like us, right? And it's like, oh man, dang, he played the game and his grandma died, and we was like, oh shit, whoa, that's like crazy, right? To even think about playing it. And then it's like, oh shit, his girlfriend died too, like the same time. It's like, oh, how the hell did he play that? Mm-hmm. And then it's like you come back and like, oh, well, his grandma died, that was real, but his girlfriend wasn't. It's like, what the fuck?
Dude, that was so crazy, dog.
Like, and then it comes to find out that his girlfriend was fake, but it was actually a catfish situation.
Yeah,
it was actually a dude.
This whole dude, like, and then the dude got a Netflix show to explain what happened.
I was just scrolling on TikTok.
I was like,
I just learned about that.
I was like, yo, man, yo.
Everybody, and I think Cam last year, I think Cam thought it was a setup. I think he thought it was fake. Like, he thought it wouldn't, like, he didn't really fall for nothing. Like, he thought it was a publicity stunt, I feel like. I think dude was just goofy and just didn't freaking know no better. But catfishing wasn't like a big thing yet. Like, it blew up after that. It blew up after that because everybody's like, oh man, he might win the Heisman. Da-da-da-da. And then all this stuff comes out, and then he gets into the national title game and flat out just dud. And then he gets into the league, and he's always second. He gets into the league, the Chargers draft him, and then he always second guesses himself. He even said it, he's like, dude, I'm worried I'm gonna freaking lose my job. I'm concerned. So he really never played loose to the extent he did at Notre Dame. And it pretty much jacked his career up because mentally, like if you're mentally checked out and you're not playing with confidence, like you're not gonna be the same player. But
he was good.
It was Manti Te'o, Johnny Manziel. Who was the other? Was it dude from who was that?
I don't know. It was Manti Te'o though.
Was it the dude from K-State, or was that a different year?
I think that was a different year. You saying what was that, 2012?
This is 20. Yeah.
Yeah, 2012 Heisman finalist. Yeah, Johnny Manziel, Manti Te'o, and Colin Klein. Yep.
Okay, so I was right. Okay.
Yeah. Colin Klein was good, bro. If they wouldn't have lost, like I want to say, like one game or so, he would have won because he had like 2,000 yards passing. And
I don't think they were gonna
2,000
vote.
rushing.
I don't think they're gonna vote him in though. I think everybody. It was Manziel, bro. After he beat y'all as a freaking freshman, bro. It would like he freaking went into Tuscaloosa and beat Alabama at home. Like I remember watching. I'm like, yeah, like damn, dude, really like freaking ice in his veins, bro. Wasn't scared of nobody.
Like that. He
was like that. He was like that.
He was like that.
Oh
the next year, the game was just as good. And they almost got us.
He couldn't beat us though. He beat y'all. He couldn't beat us.
Shoot, man. That's all right, man. We took care of y'all. We did. See, look, this LSU thing between Bama. The only reason it's really like super, super agitating for both sides is because Nick Saban coached at Alabama and got them a national title. All right. Left and went to the Dolphins.
You mean
then,
he was at LSU, you mean?
Yeah, he was at LSU, won him a national title, and then left with a good team. Right? Good team he left there. And went to the Dolphins. And then left the Dolphins to go, whole story with the Dolphins, man.
And he said he regretted making that decision. He says now that he made the wrong because when he was on the precipice of leaving, he was talking to the AD or somebody, and they're sitting out there talking. And he's like, you're talking about leaving. He's like, when everything's said and done, who do you want to be? Do you want to be like Bear Bryant or do you want to be like Vince Lombardi? He's like, well, I want to be Bear Bryant. He's like, well, why are you thinking about leaving then? Because if he wouldn't have left, LSU would have went on a freaking tear like Alabama did. Because the team that he left won a national championship like not even 2 years later. They were that good. So, and there were rumors that he tried to come back and LSU said, oh, no, we got Les Miles, whatever. But that was the biggest reason. One, because the athletes were really good, but there was tension because they were like, oh, well, he went to freaking Alabama and now he wants to beat up on us. It was just, it was good. It's still a good rivalry. Like, it's really good, but it started with that.
Yeah, we had a game. Like, we've literally had 2 games of the century. It's like when you have a game where it's like 1 versus 2 or 2 versus 3.
Yeah,
like,
I seen a screenshot like that.
Yeah.
And then when we played in the national championship game, that never happened before. Yeah. 2 people in the same conference had never happened before.
Yeah, and that's what opened the door into the playoff era. Because nobody wanted to see that. Nobody.
They were like, "Oh, that's not fair."
Like, you can't do that. You can't have 2 teams. They just played each other. You can't do that. Now we've had, like I said, we have 2 really good games. We have 2011, right, where LSU had about 10 draft picks, maybe 20 if you combine the next year's draft, and then Alabama had about 20 guys, and if you combine the drafts all on one field. Playing one game, bro. 1 versus 2, and it was a good game. I don't think we didn't score 10. Well, I don't think we scored more than 20 points. It's like 9-6 or something like that. Like field goal game, and our field goal kicking. Let's just call that what it is. That's not very good. All right, so I knew we were in trouble, right? But they won the game. Then we got them in a championship game. Then you got 2019. Where our 2019 team was just as good as their 2019 team with Joe Burrow, Chase, Jefferson. We had Tua, we had Najee Harris, we had Devontae Smith, we had Waddle. I want to say we had Ruggs still there too. Like, we had really good players just like them. The only difference is they knew how to use their thing, right? They knew how to use their personnel against our defense just a tad bit better, right? Clyde Edwards-Helaire was a problem. The running back for them. He played with the Chiefs for a minute. Like, he was a problem. You can't just take your running back and make him the 5th receiver and think, oh, it's gonna be okay. Somebody got to cover that motherfucker. Like, somebody got to get out there. And it seemed like as soon as he went outside, we just forgot how to play defense, and you leave Chase and Jefferson and Thaddeus Moss running through the defense, and then by the time we look up, it's about we down 24, right? Now, halftime, we got it together and we started making some plays, but at that time, it was too late. You know what I'm saying? Now, another important factor is that Tua had ankle surgery like 2 weeks before that. So he wasn't necessarily the Tua that would have.
He wasn't 100%. He couldn't make plays he normally would make because your feet and your ankles like are a big difference in your drop back and your delivery.
But Tua earned a whole lot of respect from me after that game because I was mad at him for the championship game when we got blown out by Clemson. So I was like, "Hey, you cool with me because you got ankle surgery, which we invented, by the way." It was a tightrope surgery where you get like a severe ankle sprain, but they stick like a rope or something and they tie your ankle together to the point where it heals like that or something. Something crazy. But he played through that shit 2 weeks later. Bruh, it's some surgery that they do. It's a procedure that they literally invented at Alabama. And a couple players have had it. And they stick something through there and they tie it together and it help your ankle stability or some shit like that. And it allow you to play. Like you sit out maybe a week or two, kind of like he did, and he was cleared to play. And they went back and forth, man. But that's Joe Burrow was Joe Burrow, man. And you can't stop that. Like he was
big
games, he was
those
surgical,
big games,
dog.
Those big ones make me get over the ones that weren't good like that. The ones where we just don't know how to play defense, we get blown out by like 30. Those big games like that make me feel a lot better compared to how we performed last year where Milroe ran bulldoze through us all game. Or I remember one year we had an okay team. I think our quarterback was with Anthony Jennings, and y'all were beating us and we were going down the fort, and this dude was horrible. And it came down like one last play. They got open in the end zone. He like tight roped it and threw it out of bounds. I'm like, what the fuck we doing, bro? Like those big games made me look past that.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like literally, the championships we won like early on in the dynasty, not when we went into the pass happy stuff, but when we was ground and pound, we had a 4-headed monster. We had Mark Ingram. We ended up I take that back. It was Glenn Coffey who ended up getting drafted. Yeah, he was drafted by the Niners, left the NFL to join the military, right? But he was the first of the saving running backs. Then you got Mark Ingram, Saints, Derrick Henry, right? We already know. Then you ended up with I lied. No, I'm skipping the era. No,
Trent Richardson.
Yeah, Glenn Coffey. Glenn Coffey. Then you ended up with Mark Ingram. Then you had Trent Richardson, Cheeseburger Eddie Lacy, right? One rookie of the year. Then just decided to eat a bunch of cheeseburgers. He had an 80-yard run in the playoffs, and we ain't seen him since. he needed oxygen after that shit. He was gone too. I was like, bro, I was sitting there with Pops too. He's like, man, he gonna need some oxygen. I said, yeah. You see that belly?
He was fat in college too.
No, he was in college.
Dude, he got fat when he got to the league, bro. Like when he got drafted, he had already put weight. Like he was on his Zion stuff, put weight on.
Yeah, he was on his Zion Williamson heavy, bro. He went rookie of the year and then just poof.
Trash.
That's it. Right. But like I said, that was Eddie Lacy, who I think all three of them went in the first round. And then we ended up with TJ Yeldon, which brought us into the Derrick Henry era.
Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, then Josh Jacobs as well, right?
Wait, who's the other one?
Jahmyr Gibbs is another first.
No, who was the guy?
Yeah, Ramondre Stevenson.
No, he was the producer.
Who? Yeah. Who was the Kenyon Drake?
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. I thought of a Patriots running back. That's why I said Ramondre Stevenson.
Nasty, bro.
Yeah, but Kenyon Drake was like everything. He was like what Alvin Kamara is for the Saints, but way faster.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he had the same not the same. I wouldn't say he had the best footwork and stuff like him though.
Yeah, man. Like, yo, he was nasty, bro. You add him to there, Like, I mean, like we had a nice lineage of running back. But I say all of that to say, like, going to LSU was the way to test how good you were. You know, if we knew we were going for a national title, we had to beat LSU. It was simple as that because you knew they were just as good as us every Saturday. Didn't matter what it was. They recruited like us. They had the same training like us. Everything. So like everything you can think of, man. But like I said, he was right about LSU, man. When Nick Saban was there, he was gonna win a lot.
Oh, they were gonna have an Alabama dynasty.
Yeah, because they think about this coaching staff he had. Though. Like we'll close it on this one, right? The coaching staff he had was Will Muschamp, head coach in college. Who else?
Jimbo Fisher.
Jimbo Fisher, head coach, Florida State.
Derek Dooley.
Derek Dooley, who has a Hall of Fame dad who basically coached Georgia to their national championship in the 80s, right? Derek Dooley's a head coach. I'm missing somebody important. Kirby Smart, head coach at Georgia right now. He was on that staff. Major Applewhite, who ended up being a head coach at Houston for a little bit. He was a graduate assistant. Little guy on the totem pole. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta think there's so many dudes on that staff.
Dude, freaking Mel Tucker, Kevin Steele, Lance Thompson, Adam Gase.
Yep. Like Adam Gase ended up coaching the NFL for the Jets. Mm-hmm. So so that staff was crazy. You think about all that wealth of knowledge that you can think, you know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy depth, you know what I'm saying? And then like it gets to Alabama and all the coaches that get fired go there and become offensive or defensive analysts. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, like everybody, man. You think about Steve Sarkisian, head coach at Texas right now. Lane Kiffin, head coach at Ole Miss right now. Mel Tucker came there for a minute, and then he ended up he came back to Nick Saban and ended up going to get the head coaching job at Michigan State. And Mike Locksley is the head coach at Maryland right now. You know what I'm saying? Jeremy Pruitt, who was the defensive coordinator, got the Tennessee job, got fired because he was cheating, but that's okay. We're not going there. But he ended up getting the head coaching job right there. You know what I'm saying? Like Georgia's defensive coordinator, Glenn Schumann right now. He was a graduate assistant there back. Dan Lanning, the head coach at Oregon. He was the graduate assistant at Alabama at one time. Right? He branched off and did other things with Kirby Smart. But that's what I'm talking about. Crazy depth, man. And I'm telling you, if you can get the Nick Saban, if you could have got the Nick Saban seal of approval, you could get any job you want. Oh yeah, that's the guy you want. You know what I'm saying? But the seal of approval isn't just the coaches, it's the players too. Because Jalen Hurts wouldn't have been the best quarterback he became without the seal of approval.
Right.
Because he needed that seal of approval, like, hey, y'all want to start Tua. I want to transfer. But where can I go to get better at quarterback? And Nick Saban told him, Oklahoma is the place to go. Just came off 2 Heisman winners. Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray. If you want to...
He was before them.
No, he was after.
Was he?
Yeah, he was after them, bro. Yeah, Baker went to the national... Well, Baker didn't go to the national title. But Baker was in that playoff in 16. And then Kyler Murray was like 17, 18 or something like that. So it was like right after. But they went back-to-back Heisman winners. And Jalen Hurts was going to be like the third in a row. That's how good he was if Joe Burrow didn't exist.
2019.
Yeah, if he didn't exist, I think either it would have went to Stroud. I think it would have went to Stroud or Jalen Hurts because they both was like crazy.
Imagine if Burrow wouldn't have went there and Hurts would have went to LSU instead. Just saying.
We would have dog walked up. We would have dog walked up. Like, I'm sorry, Jalen Hurts, but you gotta take this ass whooping. Because I don't think they would have been able to do it. Because they had a system, man. That system was crazy. That's why I say they're probably in a top 5 list, one of the top 5 teams ever. I do think 2020 Alabama is up
Top
there.
3. Don't
Like,
get it twisted. Top 3.
I say LSU is up there in the top 3, but 2020 Bama is in that top 5 because we got to do all of that through COVID. I'm sorry, you win a national title going through COVID when all your players can be kicked off the damn team for 2 weeks.
Nah, bro, y'all got something like the Lakers bubble team, bro.
Hey, bro, I'll take it. I ain't mad, man. But like I said, man, we want to thank Kendall, little brother, man, going to college, man. Gonna have a great time. I'm very proud of him, man. Turning into a man. You know, a man's man, you know. So I'm proud of him, man. So we appreciate you, man. Hopefully you learned a little bit. So when you go to college and them motherfuckers be sitting there talking shit, like, yeah, man, Alabama ain't shit. Man, my brother is the best Alabama fan there is, and he gonna kick your ass with all them championship rings that we got. Tell him that. Tell him that. Because we got a lot. We got a lot. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man, seriously, man, proud of you, man. I know Brandon may not know you personally, but I know he's proud of you for real, man, on this journey after, you know, high school, man. It's really what it is, man. So, but we also want to give a thanks to Andrew, man, for the love, man. Little Timmy, we appreciate it. Pitch Grid, we appreciate the love on the show, man. But before we get up out of here, bro, anything you gotta say to the people?
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, next week closes out. I think our breakdowns. I think we're gonna do the Big 12, and I think what we do in awards and stuff next week too. You think?
Yeah, we can split it into 2.
Okay, so we'll get a Big 12 breakdown. Might not be as deep of a dive as this. You'll get that. You'll get a cheat. We'll probably end up starting earlier, maybe if possible. But do that, award winners, and then kind of like who we think will be in the playoffs and so on. And then after that, you can start the NFL, and we'll start breaking down all the divisions and stuff like that. But
I'll be tuned for that. For
sure.
That and,
hey, we'll have you back on for the NFL, man.
Yeah, that's when I get there. I'm clapped in with the NFL, so yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not the Michigan Tigers.
We do.
We won that natty today, boy. Number 8.
Huh?
We won our 8th national title today. Baseball.
Oh man, y'all be cheating. Y'all got all MLB players, bro. Y'all be cheating. Like, bro, come on, man. You got Paul Skeens, Alex Bregman. Like, these are players about to make a lot of money in baseball, bro.
Coastal Carolina thinks, oh, we won 26 straight. Oh, we not impressed with anything y'all got. And then freaking gave them their first loss since April and then went back to back.
I guess they be cheating, bro. Like, look, Vanderbilt and LSU are like really good in baseball, bro. Like Vanderbilt beat us in football last year for the first time in a very long time, right? But
yeah, I remember that.
But like, yeah, you called me. He was like, "Hey, man, what's going on?" Shit, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, man. All I know is it looks like we finna lose, and I'm not happy about it. But typically Vanderbilt's not a good football team. But in baseball, shit. You can throw 5 names out there and they probably went to Vanderbilt for baseball. That's how good Vanderbilt is. But LSU's pretty good in baseball too, bro. They've been pretty good the last 20 years in baseball, bro. They got so many MLB players, like crazy. You know what I'm saying? So but yeah, you know what I'm saying? Sports is like, you know, all around, man. But if you can dominate in soccer, baseball, basketball, and football, you got yourself a good program, man. And usually SEC dominates in a lot of them sports, man. Not as much as UCLA though. UCLA got hella titles, bro, and a lot of shit. Like they good at everything, bro. I mean, you got like 10 national titles by one dude because he had like 2 of the best big men in NBA history, and Bill Walton and damn Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You know what I'm saying? That's cheating. You can't have that. Them dudes is big as hell, and all they do is dunk. I mean, actually, they couldn't dunk.
Right.
Like Kareem couldn't dunk. All he could do is
Hook shot.
that's it. Unstoppable. But nonetheless, man, we appreciate everything, man. We hope y'all tune in next week for our Big 12 breakdown and our awards picks, man. We're gonna have a lot of fun. So keep on subscribing, keep on liking, and we hope you have a good week, man. But it's been a football frame of mind. I'm Cameron.
This
This is
Kendall.
Kendall, and that's Brandon. We happy to have y'all along for the ride, man. But I'll see y'all on the next one.
Peace.